Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
The Brewing Network Sunday Session is brought to you by the badasses at More Beer. Visit them at morebeer.com.
If you really want to be one of the best brewers there is,
I stopped dressing all in plastic.
You better be brewing 5 to 6 times a week.
Every beer is made with love, and it begs to be appreciated.
I need something to kill the salmonella I'm kind of worried about in the eggs.
Do you find that that the hops kind of clash with the chicken embryo you put in there?
I might sleep here tonight.
It's a California King. There's plenty of room for both of us, Beavis.
Yeah. How many of the brewers over there have seen your ass?
That's it. Someone's getting cut tonight.
All I have to say is, hey, McDowell, how you doing?
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Justin Crosley. You might remember me from shows such as the Sunday Session.
I was wondering who you were.
Here on the Brewing Network.
Well, welcome.
I used to do that show, and I enjoyed it. It's good to be back at the helm. JP and Beardy and Tasty have been holding down the fort here for several shows in a row, which I appreciate very much. Okay. I am back in the studio tonight for our wonderful guest, Steve Altimari from Highwater Brewing Company is in the studio with us. We're going to be talking about the great beer of Highwater. Steve's been around the Bay Area brewing scene for quite some time, and is one hell of a brewer.
Sure
so I'm looking forward to tasting his beer tonight and getting back on the horse. Not like I haven't been drinking while I wasn't here, but you see what I mean. Not that horse.
No, not that horse.
Yeah,
an actual horse.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting on it. I rode a horse in today. Yeah. I'm paring things down, and technology-wise, I'm trying to simplify my life, so I got a horse.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good.
Seems logical, right? I am fresh off a worldwide tour. Not really. I went to Baltimore for the National Homebrewers Conference, which was a great time. Saw a lot of listeners out there who expressed a lot of concern for me and my well-being.
Undue concern?
New concern. I mean, no, basically like the same old concern, but like they haven't seen me since my hiatus. And,
okay.
Just a lot of like, some polite. Some not so polite. You know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got a little bit
drinking,
of like...
Yeah. They're polite things, bro.
What the fuck? I hope your vacation's going well. Yeah, I got a little bit of that. And I got some other like, hey, how you doing? Like, I mean, are you going to be all right? Is this whole thing, like, what's happening?
Are you going to be good?
Bevo and Jamie told me that like one guy just kept coming to the booth. I was never at the booth. He just kept coming back. And every time he's like, yeah, so what's up with him? Like, what's up with Justin? Like,
wow.
And they finally were like, it's none of your business, man. He's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
So a lot of I told people, rest assured, I'm back at the end of the month, and now I'm here for quite some time. I think I'm here till September before I leave again on several different trips. But until then, back at the helm to hang out with you guys, which I'm looking forward to. I'm excited about.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I'm sure, Beardy.
Just like the old days.
Yeah.
I mean, Beardy, you haven't changed since I left.
No.
You still look like shit over there in the corner.
Well, I mean, I didn't want to scare you when you came back.
Yeah. You look tired. I know you're working hard on your new brewery right now.
Yeah.
Well, someone else's brewery, but
right.
Yeah, I'm working hard at someone's brewery.
Yeah.
Got the glycol system up and running today.
Oh, you did? Because when I saw you over the weekend, it still wasn't going.
Yeah. So it had a couple fuses blow after it sat dormant for a year or so.
I see.
Fire it up and
You're installing it, literally, or are you just there?
Well, we redid all of the plumbing. The chiller is existing, but we redid the whole plumbing, and so I'm filling it back up and knocking all the cobwebs off. So, yeah.
But the plumbing was installed by somebody else, or you did that, too?
No, the plumbing was very poorly done by someone else.
And you've had to go in and redo it?
Yeah, it's been redone a couple times already.
I see.
So, but it seems to be holding glycol right now. So
until you get there tomorrow morning and find a puddle of glycol out in the front.
Yeah, I actually am chilling the cold liquor down for the first time right now. So it made it down from 93 to 54 by the time I left.
How long did that take?
That was only a couple hours at that point. Yeah, and I was also still filling it, so it was continually getting more warm water.
I see. Are you learning a lot about? You've put together a brew house before. You helped with Jamil's at Heretic.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you must be learning a bunch.
Yeah, I mean, this is a different brewery. It's a pub versus a production facility, so there's quite a few things that are different.
Okay.
And just learning how to fit everything into a lot smaller space and trying to be efficient and not be an idiot.
Yeah, not catch your beard on shit.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll find out. It's looking like maybe next week actually be doing the first brews.
Ooh.
So we'll see.
Really?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, the steam's supposed to get signed off on Wednesday. So
what's the
first
beer you're going to make?
Anchor Steve.
Actually, Berliner Weiss.
Okay. Wow,
So,
going right for the weird stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I have 10 liters of lactobacillus from White Lab sitting in the brewery.
Okay.
So I'm ready to just get a good contamination issue deep-seated into the draft lines and everything from day one.
That
knock early, dude.
Kind of ballsy, don't you think? Like to go straight for a wild beer? I mean,
Yeah, and
you're not worried about that?
I'm not going to do a kettle sour either. It's going to be primary with lacto, kind of like what Jay at the Rare Barrel does, and then finish up with sack yeast.
Okay.
So yeah, knock out at about 100, throw in the lacto for a day or two, and cool it down. Throw some yeast in there. We'll see.
Well, good luck.
I'm sure that beer will be fine. It'll be the next beer that goes through.
Yeah. Well, you just become a Berliner Weiss brewery.
Berliner Weiss guy.
Yeah.
Seems easy enough.
Very authentic old style beers.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything has a little contamination to it.
Right. It's a house flavor.
We're old style.
Yeah, right. Yeah, old world brewery.
Yeah, I like it. All right. Well, as I said, we've got Steve Altimari from Highwater Brewing Company in with us. Let me get through a few things here before we go off on too many tangents. We're doing an AHA membership drive for the whole month of June. I'm sure JP's been telling you all about that.
Hell yeah.
Our friends, the American Homebrewers Association, have a special offer just for you here at the BN Army. So join or renew your AHA membership in June and receive 6 ounces of Mosaic hops from BSG for free with your membership. 6 ounces of Mosaic. Just visit homebrewersassociation.org and use coupon code BNAHA when you join or renew. Offer ends June 30th while supplies last. Visit homebrewersassociation.org and use the code BNAHA. And, of course, you should be a member of the American Homebrewers Association. We all are, and they do great things for us. They put on that National Homebrewers Conference we just came back from, and among a lot of other things that they do for you. So, the hops aren't the only reason. They're just a nice little bonus. So go check that out and get your free hops. Also, the Pleasant Hill Blues and Brews Festival is back July 15th and 16th in Pleasant Hill Park. Enjoy a day of beer tasting, delicious food, and great music at the 7th Annual Pleasant Hill Blues and Brews Festival. We always go to this festival. It's a good time. Like I said, it's July 15th and 16th at Pleasant Hill Park. There's also a pre-party concert and a homebrew contest on the Friday night from 6 to 9 p.m. So you can go check that out, too. Go to bluesandbrewsfestival.com. Surprised they got that URL. Blues and Brews Festival.
Yeah.
Because
seems like a no-brainer, dude.
Well done on them.
Yeah.
Go to bluesandbrewsfestival.com for more information on how to participate and to get your tickets. This year they got music from The Big Jangle, Greg Wright, Frankie G and the Conviction, Carumpus Room, Gigi Amos, and the Indecision Band. You can get all this information more over at bluesandbrewsfestival.com. And I'm not sure if we're setting up there this year or not, but you might even find us there with a booth. So go check it out. It's a good little fest, right, Tasty? You've been to it quite a few times.
Several times. Nice.
Yeah. All right. Also coming up here at the Hop Grenade, our 7th anniversary is already coming up. I'm giving you lots of warning this time. It's,
7th?
Sorry, our 2nd. Sorry, it's on August 7th.
Oh. Yeah.
Our 2nd anniversary on August 7th.
There were a few I wasn't invited to.
Yeah, I skipped ahead a few and just figure... Because once I get to 10, I get bored and I want to leave. So I'm speeding it up.
The sooner we can get to 10.
I think you mean 6.
Hop Grenade Tap Room and Bottle Shop, where our studio lives, is having our 2nd anniversary on August 7th. It's a Sunday. And we're doing just like we did last year, where we save up beer all year long, all of the good stuff. Not just stuff we've saved, but we bring in a bunch of new good stuff, too. And we had a really stellar lineup last year. You can expect the same this year. So just keep it in mind. We'll get details up, an event on Facebook and all that stuff. I just wanted to throw it out there so that you know about it. You can support us in different ways. Moscow's got his Hop Life gear. You can go to hoplifegear.com and check it out. Those are his original artworks of Hop's living life. You got it in T-shirts and prints and stuff like that. It's cool. So go check it out. Also, you can do your Amazon shopping. Also, you Canadians and you UK people can do it. Although I think maybe the Canadians, we just got dropped. I got to double check that. I think I just saw an email about that. Because if you don't purchase anything, they drop us as an affiliate. So I don't think the Canadians bought anything for like 90 days.
Oh.
And so I have to go reapply as an affiliate. So thanks, Canada.
Damn it, Blobber.
How does the Brexit factor in the whole Amazon thing? Are we still partnered with the UK Amazon? Because now they're not part of the EU. Maybe there's some trade thing that I just don't know about.
Good question.
Thank you.
As of now, we're still alive and well with the UK. But I bet if you click my Canada link, it's broken. Canada.
Blinken.
You're not that nice. Everyone says you're so nice. You're so nice. We don't buy shit.
Right. Well, no, they think it should be for free.
So maybe it's just in the U.S. and the UK right now. You can do all your Amazon shopping just by clicking the Amazon link on our homepage there, and then shop as normal, and we get a little piece of the action. Thanks to all of you who do that. It's a great way to support us. It's real easy. You can also subscribe and join the BN Army. Just hit the donate button on the homepage there. You can do a one-time donation, or you can become a recurring donor, which enters you into the More Beer monthly donation giveaway.
Yes.
That gives you a chance to win a gift ticket for $100. You know who finally won after years and years of support?
I think it was Brian Shaw.
Brian Shaw.
Yes. And he's like, I'm actually glad that this is finally real.
Isn't that exciting?
He's going to fucking sue us, I feel.
Yeah, you felt like I've been lying all this time. It's a real thing. You can win $100 to More Beer. Of course, More Beer is the sponsor of this session and every session that we do. They have been for years. We love them. Go to morebeer.com and check it out. But if you become a recurring donor, you get a chance to get $100.
Yeah.
It worked for Brian Shaw. It can work for you.
We should have those, like the winners do spots. Like, hello, my name is Padre. It worked for me. It worked for you, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Where exactly do you think our listeners are?
I don't know.
Padre.
Papua New Guinea.
Wouldn't it be Pedro?
Maybe.
Padre.
No.
That's what they call it.
His name's Dad.
I'm a
Right.
father.
Well, like
I'm
when
a
you're
father.
driving up to Sacramento and there's like the Cache Creek Casino and then just the elderly Latin American woman who's like 55 going, flashing all the money.
I won $12, so can you.
Yeah.
I don't know why she's Chechnya now. I won $12.
Yeah.
Every time I go, I get $12 more.
It's easy with the every time you play card. Come play at the casino.
In Chechnya, we don't win anything because we all die before winning things.
I only won card. Now card win money for me.
Chechnya pay for a trip to casino to get me out of Chechnya. They can't afford. And here, $12.
Again, even filming this commercial, $12.
Honey, what can I buy for $12 in America?
About 24 now. Keep talking.
You can get a pack of cigarettes and a Gatorade for
True.
$12.
Yeah, go to 7-Eleven and get 2 Gatorades, dude.
In Chechnya, we don't have Gatorade. It's wonderful.
That might be why they don't have $12 in Chechnya. There's no Gatorade to buy.
There's no Gatorade. All right. So where was I?
Chechnya.
Get all this information and more over on Twitter and Facebook. That's right. Send your feedback.
Have we ever posted this information? I don't think we've ever once posted it.
I don't know. It just seems like the right thing to say.
Yeah, someone on Facebook. Oh man, I want to start liking the Brewing Network because I really need to know what their Amazon link is.
In Chechnya, Facebook is actually Book of Faces. People died in family. That's on Facebook. Go get it. I cry.
Like Game of Thrones. Like the Assassin People. A Hall of Faces. It's the Book of Faces.
It's Book of Faces. You sign up for it, but you don't want to.
Yeah, we take your face. Read fine print if you don't want to.
Last book you want to be on is Book of Faces in Chechnya. Do we have any listeners in Chechnya, I wonder?
You're going to find out.
Probably a lot of spammers.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, we have Facebook. You're right. You described it accurately.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we just put Grandma on the Facebook.
They might be. They might email in for feedback next time. Be like, hey, you guys have been to Chechnya. That's awesome.
Don't use the word feed in Chechnya. It's a very sore subject.
I want them to send an audio file, so we can calibrate.
I probably do need to calibrate. I feel like it's my best one in years.
It is good, though.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
I feel like
I think
wherever it's from.
It's like Chekhov on the start.
That'd be amazing if a more accurate accent was like super Cockney. Just like,
ow.
Yeah. What are these bleemin' talking about? I'm born and bred in Chechnya.
888-401-BEER if you're from Chechnya and you want to call in and calibrate my accent.
The country code is 01.
There you go.
Skype. That would be the way to roll. What's the Skype? What's our Skype?
Brewing Network.
Can we answer that? Or
sometimes, yeah. We do. All right. Send your feedback over to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. And do we have a Twitter game today?
Sure do, buddy.
Twitter game's brought to you today by our good friends Jade and Roberto over at HopTech Homebrew Supply. You can go to HopTech Homebrew and check them out. They've been supporting us for years. They're just really good people, and they've got what you need in the homebrew supply world. So go check them out at HopTech. What's our Twitter game?
Well, I was thinking the other day that Tasty has had a long life, a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
Not anything about him dying because that's
just looking that up.
Let's not do that.
In Chechnya, long life is 7.
Yeah, right.
Years of crying in a row.
Right. Yeah.
And so when you have a long life, you often have dreams, and when you have dreams, sometimes you have a nightmare. So in my scenario, Tasty wakes up from a nightmare.
Okay.
What was he dreaming about?
Oh. After in his whole life of things that could be scary,
anything, right?
It takes a long life in order to have a dream.
A nightmare.
Takes a lot. Well, in this scenario, look, Warren.
I do have another problem with this game.
Yes, and with you, okay?
When I was a stoner, I didn't dream. There were no dreams until I quit smoking. Do you still dream, Tasty?
Yeah, I dream
okay. Well, there you go.
About 6. I think you might say that must be irritating.
I guess the Twitter game's over.
That's not irritating at all.
Always about sex.
Damn it, I'm always getting laid when I go to bed. It's terrible.
SEKS. Sex.
All right, that's our Twitter game. Send us in what was Tasty's nightmare. So I was going to get into feedback, but I'm going to wait a second because our good friend, we're going to talk to Mitch Steele here in a minute.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, you may have heard that Mitch, of course, from Stone Brewing Company and other breweries throughout his career, of course, is leaving Stone.
That's right.
At an interesting time in Stone's life, where they're opening multiple breweries around the world.
Right. Simultaneously.
Which is
one here in our backyard. In Napa.
Yeah, that's right. I think they're opening one in Napa, right?
Yeah.
And then they're opening one on the East Coast, and then they're opening one in Berlin.
Chechnya.
Right near Chechnya.
We're opening brewery in Chechnya. It's very cheap.
Stone, you love it. It's made of stone. Literally stone.
We're
The beer
perfect
is
fit
stone.
for you. We have stone.
Yeah.
You're stone, we have stone.
Yeah. Our emotion stone, our mountain stone, your brewery stone.
I believe we
Drink.
are perfect fit. All right, well, let's just try to call him now because maybe I can just get him on the line here.
Do it.
I don't know how much info. He's leaving Stone, I hear, for another project, but I don't know that he's announced the project.
He hasn't announced the project yet. He did tell us that he'll have more information later next month.
I see.
But I just really wanted to get him on the line and I don't know, just ask him a couple questions about it. Nothing too crazy. Yeah. And he's already mentioned like I don't have a whole lot of details.
Okay.
But I think it would be cool to just figure out why you would leave a gig at Stone. Like, what's going on? What's his drive to
probably because they're going to make him
else.
fly to Chechnya to open a new brewery.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I was like, fuck that. Mitch, welcome to the show, man. Welcome back.
Hey, thank you.
So we were already just talking a little bit about it. Of course, Mitch is a longtime friend of the show, been on quite a few of our shows. And when I heard the news that you were leaving Stone, of course, I was moderately surprised because you've been there a while and there's a lot going on. But it sounds like it's because you're on to greener pastures.
Yeah, kind of from a career goal standpoint, that's true. I think, the situation at Stone was, things were really great. I've been doing it for 10 years, though, and for me, I'm just discovering about myself, that's a long time to be doing anything for, and
yeah. What's funny about that? I was thinking about that too, Mitch, because we first interviewed you right after you took that job, and that's 10 years ago now. We've been around, we've been through this whole Stone career with you.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, it was right after I started.
Yeah, because we were real interested to talk to a brewer who had come from the macro brewing side, and it was one of our. I thought it was a really cool interview we did in the first time, and then you've just kind of stuck with us through the years. So,
yeah, imagine that.
Yeah, right.
That's why he's calling to tell us he's never going to talk to us again. That's also something he's changing.
Is this your farewell call, Mitch?
Yeah.
So, all right. It sounds like you can't tell us much. I will say this. If you don't give me the scoop when you can say things, I'm going to be very upset, Mitch. But for now, I'll let you off the hook. But it does sound like you're moving on to open another brewery or something. Can we say that?
Yeah, it's going to be a startup, and I'm joining up with two guys that have been in the business a long time and were out of the business and wanted to get back in. And they reached out to me and asked me if I'd be interested in doing this, and I said no. I don't want to do this, and I'm quite happy at Stone, which was the truth. And but as we talked more and more, it just sounded like something that would be really fun, and and just kind of starting something from ground zero, from the ground up, and really developing a brand and a beer, and beers and things like that, which isn't to say I didn't have a lot of that at Stone, but this is a chance to kind of do it in my, on my own path.
Sure. Do you know where it's going to be? I mean, you're down in the San Diego area now. Are you thinking you guys are going to stay right there?
Yeah, it's not going to be in San Diego. It's not going to be in California.
Okay.
I can't really say much more than that at this point, but one of the things that swung this for me was the fact that they were willing to let me commute, long-distance commute, while I get my daughter through high school here. So I'm not going to leave San Diego for 3 years.
Okay.
At the least. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, you don't have to uproot your daughter. That's nice.
Yeah. There's, the way the brewing business is now, there's, 75% of the work that I do, I could do at a desk anywhere. And so, once equipment starts coming in and construction starts going and things like that, I'll be making a lot of trips, but it won't be any harder than what I'm doing now.
Got it. Is it going to be called Steel Brewing Company?
I hope not.
It's a pretty cool name, though.
I've asked repeatedly that my name stays out of it.
You did?
That's just not me.
Got it. Yeah, I can see that.
That's totally not you. Yeah. How about Iron Brewing Company?
Right.
Iron with an E at the end.
Now, what about all the projects going on at Stone? I know you've trained some really great brewers over the years, but you've been the head of building some of these new breweries too, right?
Yeah, really, the new breweries, we've gotten so big that it was such a team effort. I mean, we had project engineers and project managers, and we hired a couple of guys that used to work at Budweiser like me, and I knew them. But we brought them on board about 3 years ago, and they totally embraced what we were all about at Stone, and are really doing a good job. And they're very technical, and they're very good people managers. And when you're running a staff of 100 or even 20 or whatever, both of those things are really important.
Sure. Now, you've been going back and forth from Berlin, for example, in the recent months, right? Getting that going, though.
I have. I've been on about an every 3-week schedule going to Berlin for the last couple of months, and and I'm done now. That's a tough trip.
I could see that. That is a lot of travel. But do you like Germany? Did you get to have some cool experiences, while you were there?
Yeah, Berlin's a really cool town, and it took me a while to for it to grow on me. Because when I got there, I'm just like, man, this is a big city. It could be anywhere. But it's really full of great little neighborhoods and a lot of really good food and restaurants. And the craft beer scene, every time I've gone there, it seems like there's a new place that's opened up that is focused on craft beer. So I think it's ready to explode as far as craft brewing.
I like that.
And so I really grew to like the town a lot when I was visiting. And I got to tool around Germany a little bit too on some of these trips, and I'll be going back. Greg has asked me to go out for the grand opening in September, and I'll make that trip, and then I'll probably go out to Brau and Nuremberg a little bit later than that.
Okay,
Cool.
I'm going to be there in September too. I might try to crash that party.
You want an invite? I can make it happen.
All right, I'll bug you about that because I am going to be out in Germany. I thought it'd be fun to go see it. That'd be cool.
Cool. Yeah, it's the week before Oktoberfest starts. So.
Okay, perfect. That's when I'll be there, and then I'm going to Oktoberfest, so I'll be nice.
Okay, I'll set that up.
Thank you, sir. Before you leave, see,
you're welcome.
Still get me an in down there. I love it.
Yep.
Well, this is exciting news. I know we're all happy for you. I saw the response you got on Facebook. I mean, everyone's just excited for you, and probably, most people just can't wait to see what kind of beer we get from you next. That's what's important to us.
Oh, man. That was amazing. I never expected anything like that. And, I'm looking forward to brewing some beers, and, they're probably not going to be a heck of a lot different than what I'm doing at Stone. That's the kind of beer I like. And, and it has been since before I came on board. So I don't think I'm going to go out and do a 100% Belgian brewery or a 100% lager brewery or anything like that. I'm going to be brewing hoppy ales, probably more than anything else.
Well, that's what I was going to ask next, if you were some kind of specialty brewery. But from the guy who, quite literally wrote the book on IPAs, it makes sense that you'd stick to things like that. So.
Yeah, I remember one of the guys I'm joining up with asked me if I wanted to brew an IPA, and I said, no, that's not the question. The question is how many IPAs do I want to do? And so yeah, there'll be a few IPAs coming out.
So the name of the brewery is actually IPA,
right?
Brewery.
It's called. Yeah. I wrote the book on IPAs.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to sell beer, call it IPA.
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll let you go. We're excited for you, Mitch. And like I said, when you can give us the scoop, please keep us in mind and let us know what's happening. We'd love to let our listeners know what you're doing next.
Absolutely. Once we get the building lease signed and we get a name for the company, I will reach out and let you know so that we can chat about it in more detail.
Okay. Sounds good. Good luck to you. I hope I talked to you before, but if not, maybe I'll see you in Germany in September.
All right, Justin. Thanks.
Take care, Mitch.
All right. Bye-bye.
Well, there you go. What do you think, Tasty?
Here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
Whatever.
10 years, then you just got to go, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, 10 years is
it's a long run, especially the way the brewery world's expanding.
Yeah. It is. And most of the people that we know that have been at the same brewery for 10 years are the owners of those breweries, not the brewer. There's really not too many brewers that we've interviewed or met that have been at one company for...
Yeah. You either own it or you work at Anchor.
Right. So I think that's exciting stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Get some good... I do wonder what state, though, now. And he's from the East Coast, isn't he? From Michigan
I would guess
or
the East Coast, or maybe the Midwest. I feel like the Midwest is ripe.
You feel like the Midwest is calling, Mitch?
Yeah.
I'll tell you at the break.
Oh, Tasty already. All right, perfect. There we go.
Tasty probably co-signed his loan or some shit.
Tasty's like, I'll buy in on that.
Yeah,
You're going to
right.
do great.
Right.
All right, Tasty got the off-the-record information for us, so we'll do that. All right, I think we got enough time to get through feedback while we're still here. Then we're going to take a break, and we're going to talk to Steve Altimari from Highwater Brewing Company. He's going to bring us some beer in here, and we'll talk about that. 888-401-BEER if you want to ask him any questions, or you can find Bevo in the chat room, and she'll send your questions over to me. All right, this one's about National Homebrewers Conference stuff. Greg writes in, hey guys, I just wanted to write and say it was cool running into some of you at NHC. Really, it was thanks to you guys providing me with information about homebrewing that got me to my first conference. That, and it was only an hour from my house, he said. So I ran into Justin outside of the conference, which is true because I was never really inside the conference. He asked me about places to get food in my city, which made me realize that most of the time I'm in the city, I end up having too many beers and forget the name of places to go. So sorry I couldn't help. That's true. You were completely useless, Greg. You to help me, not at all. But that's okay. Aside from that, the other reason I wanted to write in is because I just listened to last week's show, and it's really sad to hear about what happened to your friend Lee Shepard. I've listened to all the episodes of Dr. Homebrew, and from that show alone, I learned a ton, and a big portion was due to Lee. I can't even imagine how big of an impact he had on the homebrew scene in his area. Normally when I listen to you guys, it's while I'm driving, and once I reach where I'm going, I unplug and pick up where I left off for later. But not tonight. It was really cool listening to you guys talk about your fallen friend and the impact that he made. So once I parked, I sat there and listened to you guys pay your respects all the way until the end, even through the sea bumper jokes. So I just wanted to send my condolences to all of Lee's friends and family, and thanks to Lee for all the information you shared and the impact that you had on the brewing community.
Awesome.
You know, thank you guys for doing a tribute to Lee like that. I wasn't here. I wrote our Facebook, post to pledge to him, and that stuff really hits me hard. People dying young, and especially good people like that. And Lee was such a part of the brewing network. Not to mention this whole community here in the Bay Area. I can't begin to thank him for his time that he spent here. A lot of donated time and a lot of knowledge shared. And I'm just so thankful that he chose to share a part of his life with us here at the BN. And I wanted to thank you, JP, and everybody here for doing a tribute to him on the show. He deserves that and a whole lot more.
For sure. There's no way that we could not. There's no way. It's one of those things, man.
He's the first, brewcaster we've lost.
Yep.
First part of the, nobody put Lee in the death pool.
Oh my gosh, I was just going to say that, but then I was like, it's too soon.
Because he was such a sweetheart. He lived a normal life, not like us bozos.
Right.
And so, whoever would have chosen Lee would have won a lot of money. But it is sad that, we'll miss you, Lee.
Yeah.
All right, Josh writes in, HomebrewCon and BNA 11 he wants to talk about. Dear Justin, Bevo, Tasty, and Doc, I had a great time at HomebrewCon and BNA 11 this year. The beers at Peabody Heights Brewery, especially my friends Nano Gunda Beersmiths, were all fantastic. I agree. I think we had great beers at BNA 11.
That's right. We had a lot of good beers.
I certainly took my hangover to 11 that night. Getting to meet you guys there at the conference was pretty cool. Justin's very tall, Doc not so small, and I picked up a nifty new BN work shirt. I also got to watch a disappointing hockey game on Thursday night.
Tell me about it.
With several of my fellow Pittsburghers.
Oh, no, wait. That was when we won. Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
He says,
fuck you.
He does say, while I doubt any of the BN crew watched Showtime's Behind the Cup series, there is a nice shot of Penguins coach Mike Sullivan enjoying a can of 21st Amendment's El Sully after his team won the cup.
Yeah, I tried to find that show on my Xfinity or whatever. I couldn't find it, and I was hoping there was a screen grab on the internet somewhere, and so I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not.
Okay.
But that'd be amazing if it was. Sully.
Well, do you have Showtime? You don't.
I
pay
do.
For Showtime. Oh, you
well,
do.
No, we
borrow it.
We streamlined from Terrence's parents, so we have the online.
So you found the show he's talking about, the Behind the Cup.
No,
you didn't find the Behind the Cup.
No, it's not
series.
on like the
app.
DVR or whatever.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So you can't so I can go back and look at like a lot of the custom Showtime shows, and they have a lot of sports, but they don't have. There was nothing called Behind the Cup. Well, if I would have known that, I would have watched the shit out of that.
I just signed up for the app because there's a 30-day trial.
Yeah.
So there was another show I want to watch there. I'll look for it.
Okay.
And if so, I'll tell you. Then you can download it and just get your free 30-day trial.
Cool.
And then go look, because I'm not going to sit through all that shit.
No.
Can
you imagine?
Anyway, cheers from
good
Josh.
hockey. Great.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Mike writes in. This is about NHC and Lee again. Dear Brewcasters, first I'd like to thank you for all you do, the information and entertainment I received Is monumental. Anyway, I was able to travel down to Baltimore this year to attend the BN anniversary party and NHC. It was my first BNA and NHC, and I have to say it was a great time. I had a lot of amazing beers, talked to a lot of good and knowledgeable people, and got to meet some of my homebrewing heroes. Most of these heroes I would not have known if it weren't for the BN. I was saddened to hear of the passing of Lee on the last session show. Dr. Homebrew has been one of the many programs that have helped with my brewing and tasting experience, and Lee's contribution to the show cannot be understated. While I've not yet gotten to the Dr. Homebrew shows where Lee is absent, I'm now dreading that moment. I wanted to give my deepest condolences to the BN, but especially to Jip, Brian, and Lee's friends and family. What JP and Brian said about Lee in the last show did get me a bit emotional, as the substance and sincerity was spot on. He will truly be missed. Thanks for all you do, from Mike in Dearborn, Michigan. And that's our feedback. Thanks for the kind words. Yeah, everybody here is still kind of reeling a little bit about Lee. It's very nice of you to write in and mention that to us. We appreciate it. All right, we're going to take us a little break here. When we come back, Steve Altimari from Highwater Brewing Company is going to feed us some tasty beer, and we'll talk about Highwater. We'll talk about Steve and his long and illustrious career here in the Bay Area. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch
Do
out!
you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring Monk's Blood. Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Brewing great beer is a process of continuous learning, and the best books on every aspect of brewing can be found at Brewers Publications, with more than 50 awesome titles like Modern Homebrew Recipes by Gordon Strong, Designing Great Beers, the Ultimate Guide to Brewing Classic Beer Styles by Ray Daniels, American Sour Beers, Innovative Techniques for Mixed Fermentations by Michael Tonsmeyer, For the Love of Hops, The Practical Guide to Aroma, Bitterness, and the Culture of Hops by Stan Hieronymus, and Radical Brewing, Recipes, Tales, and World-Altering Meditations in a Glass by Randy Mosher, plus many, many more. These are the books and the authors with the knowledge to push your brewing farther than you thought possible. And you'll find them all at fine homebrew and book retailers everywhere. And visit the website at brewerspublications.com. Brewers Publications, all the best on beer and brewing.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Marin Brewing Company in Northern California has been making award-winning beers for more than 25 freaking years. Today, I want to tell you about their new 12-ounce cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale. The good stuff. Mount Tam is bright gold, 5.5% ABV to keep you feeling good, and has been winning awards since 1989. If you're visiting the Bay Area, get your butt out to Marin Brewing Company. They pour tasty beers and serve great food every day until midnight. Come in for a tour, stay for the food, and pick up a 6-pack of cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale to enjoy at home, camping, biking, or whatever the hell you do. Owner Brendan Moylan has this to say about Marin Brewing beers. It's freaking awesome. Marin Brewing has won more than 100 gold medals in international competitions. Check out marinbrewing.com for all their award-winning beers, food, and merch. Marin Brewing Company in Larkspur, California. Award-winning taste, refreshing finish. It's freaking awesome.
Brewcasters are back. 888-401 beer.
Whatever.
Welcome back to the program. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We've got Highwater Brewing Company in the studio with us right now. We're going to try some of their beer. Before we get to that, I just wanted to remind you about our good friends over at Great Fermentations. You can go to greatfermentations.com right now. They've got the largest catalog of Blickman products on the web, provides same-day shipping on some of the main items, where most vendors can take up to 3 weeks, and their staff some of the best trained in using Blickman products. They've got top-notch customer service and a coupon code for you. Promo code BNARMY50. That's right. It'll gives you $1 shipping on all orders over $50. Oh, that's through the end of May. It's gone.
She gone.
Why does it say keep using this at the top, and then at the bottom it says through May 2016?
Roasted.
All right, scratch that. There is no coupon code BNARMY50, but they've got free yeast for a year contest going on. How about that? That's going on through July 15th. So how about some free yeast for a year? All you have to do is enter. You provide your name and a valid email address. The lucky winner will be randomly selected on July 16th, 2016. So go like them on Facebook at Great Fermentation to be notified of more deals like this. And they can also be found on Instagram and Twitter at Great Fermentation or online at greatfermentations.com. So go enter to win free yeast for a year. That's pretty cool.
Free yeast, dude.
Yeah.
I think yeast is expensive.
Yeast is super expensive. The fine print here says it's the winner receive about 2 packs of yeast per month for an entire year.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, who's brewing more than that? That's a home brewer. There's like 4 of you out there, and you're the nerdiest people I've ever met in my life.
You're brewing too much.
Go out and do something, for God's sake.
Stop it.
Get a hobby.
Meet some people. But for the rest of you, get a year of free yeast from our good friends over at Great Fermentations. Steve Altimari, welcome to the show. And we've also got your lovely wife, Barri Altimari.
Hi there.
Am I saying it right, Barri?
You are.
Okay,
got it.
good. Barri, where are you from?
New York originally.
I thought so.
From the island.
Okay, of course.
I'm an island girl.
Strong Island.
The Strong Island, that's right. And Steve, where are you from originally?
I'm from upstate New York.
You are? Okay.
Yes,
so
the
you
Finger Lakes.
So you both met in New York, I guess it's safe to say.
College.
Okay. How long you been in California?
Oh, trick question.
You've been here for 33 years.
Okay.
That's why I brought her along.
I've been here for 32.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Everybody from New York moves to California eventually. So when you get tired of the winter, just come out to California.
Switch coast.
Now, Steve, you've been in the brewing scene here in the Bay Area for at least as long as the Brewing Network's been around. I think when I first met you, you were working for another brewery. I want to say out in Stockton. Where'd you used to work?
Valley Brew in Stockton.
That's right. That's where I met you.
Yeah.
So we were working for Valley.
Check out the big brain on Justin.
See, I remember some things.
You're still doing it.
Originally El Dorado Brewing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which we owned.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. And then eventually, after a little period of time, you decided to leave Valley and go out on your own, right?
Yeah, 2010.
Okay. And that's how Highwater started.
That was the birth.
Okay. And tell me how you started. Did you go and spend $1 billion and build a new brewery and do that whole thing, or did you have another plan for Highwater?
We had a much easier plan. We partnered up with Drake's, and John Martin let us into the house and said, bring some fermenters in, brew your beer here. became a wonderful partnership for 2 years.
Excellent.
So
that's like a alternating proprietorship type of thing, or
actually did it as a contract.
Okay.
We later added an alternating proprietorship with EJ Fair.
I see.
Currently, we have that still, but initially it was contract only. Not the typical deal. We had our own fermenters. I was brewing. It was Brian Thorson was back in the day.
Yeah, I remember Brian.
And Roger was on his way over to Faction, so it was a fun time.
I bet.
And Alexander came along after that. So we had wonderful hosts.
He did.
And we went through the whole growth phase there. Drake's was growing like crazy. I remember we had the largest fermenters at Drake's.
Did you really?
Yeah, we had 4 30-barrel fermenters, and they had a bunch of 20s, and then their 60s came in, their 80s, the 120s, and it was, I think it's time to find a new space. So that's when we made the move to Hermitage.
Okay.
So we put some fermenters down there, and we're still, majority of our production's coming through Hermitage, through contract.
Got it.
And we do the one-offs and kind of the just little more creative stuff at EJ Fair.
I see. Out here in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh,
close
yeah.
to us. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was right when you started with Drake's. That was right about when John Martin took over at Drake's. And he's a wonderful guy. I have nothing but nice things to say about him every time his name comes up. We're big fans of Drake's, so I think that's a great spot for you to start and to start putting out great beer immediately.
It was a great opportunity. We had a warehouse right next door to them, and they sold our bottles in the bottle shop, and it was a perfect deal.
That's great.
Take the product and drive it out one ramp and up another. So.
It's perfect. How did you start brewing even before that? Let's back up even before El Dorado. And you were home brewer?
Home brewer, yeah.
Okay.
Back in the...
About 88, I would
date
say.
checks, yeah.
Mhm.
88. And
Okay.
outgrew the kitchen, and, basically our house turned into a pub. Barry's a great chef, and
nice.
We were cooking and home brewing, and, we were using a lot of yeast.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of it free from the Rubicon.
Nice.
Thanks, Phil Moeller.
Yeah.
But, just one of these, like, you should do brewing. And so I was working at Intel. I was there for 10 years and left that gig and kicked around a bit, decided to go to the American Brewers Guild.
Okay.
UC Davis.
So back in class of 95.
Okay.
So, Galooly from Drake's was in my class. We had a great class. Todd Ashman.
Wow.
It was there's a list of the who's who's of our class that year.
That's great.
And, just like wanted to get into brewing, and an opportunity came up when you do your internship as part of the guild, where you go in for like 8 weeks and brew in a brewery, and Highwater Brewing Company in Stockton, which was brand new, just opened. It was like a year-old brew pub, came up for sale. So we put an offer in, and while I was attending the guild, we bought it.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool. Because
That's ballsy.
I'm the guildo, the guy that's paying to brew, not even getting paid. And what an idiot.
Yeah.
You're so fucking stupid, dude. And sure enough, we bought it, and it was like one of those great days when you take over and like basically have to tell everyone they're fired.
Yeah.
And then, but if you're in the room, you're hired back. So that was nice.
Yeah.
But,
so you just went for it.
yeah, and there was a great brewer there, Blake Bombin, and he stayed on for about another 6 months or 8 months, and then we were running the business side. Barry was in the kitchen cooking, and running that side, and bartending, doing it all, and brewing. So
had the two of you run a business before that?
No, we didn't run a business, but we did a lot of homework, and I'd been creating recipes for national competitions and companies, and so I just had the prowess to cook, and we just kind of winged it, and we really just kind of wore every hat in the house,
as
you
from
do,
service
yeah.
to dishwasher to janitor to brewer and kitchen, and we had a great time, really.
I bet.
We had music 6 nights a week, and we
was-
had our local
Wow.
neighborhood people that would just stop by and whip them something up, and it was like family. It was really nice,
Yeah.
So we had a great learning curve,
Okay.
and we had the acumen to be able to learn quickly.
Okay.
And it was a
And
great
how
learning
long?
experience.
How long did that go on for you guys?
It was about a year and a half as
Okay.
owners. We had partners at the time, and they didn't have the same work ethics and appreciation for the business that we did.
Yeah.
And so
It
we
was
made some changes.
through 97. Yeah, just done about 2 years, and I stayed on as brewing. We
Okay.
basically sold the business equipment to take over the majority of the work was restaurant side, and this is '96 and craft beer in Stockton. It was like IPA we brewed twice a year. That was the specialty.
Really?
Sounds like my dream.
So it was like Indian red ale, wheat ales, and English mild, which I snuck on the menu, and that took
Yes.
off. And then eventually IPA became a regular event. But we used to sell a lot of stout.
Okay.
It was just kind of a very, it was early in that business, and
Sure.
went through that bubble again, and it was just kind of bizarre. It was always like Stockton's a little back on the schedule for the craft beer, but
and everything else.
it's taken off, and even today we sell. It's kind of like a learning market there. Sours are really picking up.
Okay.
So
Well, now I kind of like it though. Like to be just a little bit behind. It's like everything is new, and then sours are new.
Well, you wait for everybody else to shake out.
Yeah.
Right? You wait for everybody else to really learn about how to make a sour properly.
Sure.
And then it trickles into you, and you're like, okay, this is it. But the people on the front line's like, this is gross.
We were probably ahead of the scale, but this is like 15 years. We were doing sours there at the time.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
No kidding. And what did people think then? Like when they come in and try your sour
They
beer?
loved them.
Really?
Yeah, we were doing some like barrel aged, just knockoffs, little creeks and things, but just playing around. Wild yeast, we'd roll a barrel out and back and let it just spontaneously kick off. And pretty much every brew we did that, and we'd find one, every 1 out of 10 would be, oh, that's amazing.
And where
So
did
we'd
you
use it.
learn about sour beers back then? Travel or?
Just drinking beer.
Okay.
Figuring out like weird
finding
beers.
it,
And,
yeah.
I remember even as a home brewer, I bought this great Chimay, and I was so into it, the Placerville bottle shop, and we took it home and drank it. It was like, oh, there's something wrong with this beer.
Yeah.
Turned out there was nothing wrong, and that was how it was intended.
Right.
So it was kind of that weird learning, and then got into some sours, and Vinny was doing sours, and there were some out in the market, but we were playing around a lot. We never really went to production other than a few 5-gallon kegs, take it to a festival.
Sure. But people liked it. That's
Yeah,
great.
so I've been doing it for a long time. It's just
Well, one of the first beers I had from you out of Highwater was a sour beer. I think it was at like the Brewers Guild Gala or something, like for SF Beer Week, right? Back early on, and I went right to your table, and I expected to get a IPA or something, and you're like, no, we brought a sour beer, and that was very early on too. So you went straight for it even at Highwater.
Yeah, we've always had it going. The first release was 3 years in barrel, so
okay,
yeah. So basically, 2 years ago is the first production release, and we've been growing the process and production size a little bit each month.
So you're not doing any of this kettle sour cut and corner stuff. You're old school, age it, and okay.
Yeah, minimum 1 year.
Okay.
Everything right now, the typical barrel cycle is it's 100% Brett primary fermentation
Got
in
it.
stainless, and we'll toss some lacto in and get it into the barrels for a year. Everything we've been doing is pretty much based on fruit or a vegetable,
Seasonally
idea.
available.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, the last 3-4 months of the barrel aging, we put the fruit in and let it finish up. Some of the barrels now have developed a little more lacto character, so we've got a set of barrels that are bread only.
Okay.
So we can start blending, and they were not that big. We've got about 300 barrels right now in production. So
Where do you keep those?
at Hermitage.
At Hermitage, okay.
Yeah, there's a separate sour facility there now.
Got it.
Oh, geez.
Dedicated 100-barrel stainless fermenters.
That's great.
All the barrels are there. The fooders are there. They're being used.
Okay.
The production line, bottling line will be put in this year, so it'll be nice not to share the primary production bottling line with sours.
Yeah. Now, you guys only bottle bombers, or are you doing 6-packs and things too?
We are the main production is all 22-ounce, 12-pack, and then the sours are 500 mil. We've done some 12-ounce, we've done some 375s, but we decided to go with the 500 mil line for all the sours now.
Okay.
And now we have our first can.
Yeah, let's
Cucumber
talk about
Kolsch.
this. So we're drinking your cucumber Kolsch. It did come in a can.
16-ounce can, right.
That's nice. I like the tall boy cans.
Tall boy cans are the thing, man.
I love it.
It's great.
Tall boys are the way to go.
They totally are.
And so this is, we have now brewed our third batch of the cucumber Kolsch, I guess, in the last, 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the first reception of it was overwhelming, and so we just had to put more into production. And I personally hand cut all of the cucumbers that
Really?
we use. Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely.
Yeah. So she got the gun. So she has the guns, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
That.
Built by cucumber.
Right. So, yeah, some, a couple of varieties of cucumber to add different nuances of flavor, sweetness, and the other.
There's different varieties of cucumber?
There are. Just like there's different varieties of apples, there's different varieties of cucumbers. And so I chose the Persian, which is thin skin and low seeds, which has a beautiful sweetness to it. And then the domestic cucumber that everybody finds in the supermarkets, which have that kind of true cucumber essence. The watery.
That's what I smell, and the aroma on this is great. So when you were doing that, did you sit down and do a blend of the cucumber juice like you would with a beer, maybe?
Well, we created over 200 pounds of cucumbers that I cut. And
what's wrong with you people?
I know, right?
I mean, it's great,
and
but
there's
wow.
there's some beautiful fresh mint in there as well that I bruise, and coriander and lemon peel, and so just creating a beautiful cucumber water is actually what we do.
I see.
So we're extracting the flavors into the water, and then using the water in the brew process.
Okay. So in the kettle, that's where the water's going? It's just part of the water you add?
Whirlpool.
In the whirlpool.
Yeah, we basically, it's a Kolsch, standard Kolsch recipe.
Okay.
It's about 30% Pilsner malt and 70% raw, just traditional standard 2-row. And noble hops, just like the regular Kolsch. And then we basically kick in on a 60-barrel batch, it's 44 barrels of the fancy water.
Okay.
So
do you have to adjust for gravity? You brew a slightly higher gravity Kolsch?
We do the first half. It's two 30-barrel batches. So the first half, it's brewed at a little higher gravity, and we take advantage of the extra volume in the fermenter. And the second half, we brew at spec, or we just watch the first batch for up a little. We brew it down a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, we started this beer at EJ Fair. We've done the first production with the can van, and so that's what this release is. And then we just recently did, last week we were down in Santa Cruz, so at Uncommon. We've been working with Alec.
Okay.
And he's got a great setup there with this candy kettle. So we made the fancy water in the candy kettle.
What is a candy kettle?
It's essentially a steam-fired kettle. It's part of his brew house. He's got a five vessel, basically.
Okay.
And basically just water, put your sugar in, put your acid in, and make your Belgian candy sugar.
Oh, like a caramel, like a
caramelization,
like a double boiler, so you don't burn the sugars, like when you're melting chocolates and shit like that.
It's nice. It's plumbed in. You can just kick it right into the whirlpool or into the kettle. It's hands off. You dump it in.
Nice,
wonderful toy.
That's a cool idea.
So now that this has gotten popular, you're going to keep doing this 200 pounds of hand-cutting cucumbers?
Well, that was the third batch. We're done for the season. This is a seasonal beer. This is what I call your thinking about mowing the lawn beer. I
like that. I do that all the time.
Yeah. Exactly.
I
so
could
it's
use
nice,
that on
bright,
Saturday.
refreshing summer beer. And, we like to keep things seasonal, keep things going along. And so this is the last batch, and we're going to put the last ones out there, and Bevmo is picking up on it and going to distribute us in 3 of their stores.
Great.
Excuse me,
Cool.
3 of the states, rather.
3 of the states?
Yeah.
Wow,
we're
congrats.
sold in Arizona, Washington, and California,
Arizona,
among other places.
Arizona could use this.
Arizona loves the beer.
I bet, yeah.
And we just launched there in May, and Steve took down some samples, and they
cleaned us out.
Just
The
were
last
really
We'll take
enthusiastic
it.
about it. So,
Is it 6-packs of tall boys or 4-packs? Okay.
4-pack.
or single, depending
Okay.
on how the wholesalers want to sell it out. But it's a beautiful beer, and we just won a gold medal at the state fair for it as well.
Oh, nice.
I like
So we're really proud of that.
I like how the high water name kind of feeds into your cucumber water thing. It's like, so you just need the high water is what you're missing.
We can work on that.
A beer down the road.
Down the road.
That trademark is held.
Hey, that's true. Things change over time.
Yes,
but we'll definitely produce this again next summer.
It sounds like you should. Sounds like you have to.
Absolutely, yeah.
It tastes great. I like the idea that you made the cucumber water, and I think everyone can relate to that, right? You go to a fancy hotel or a restaurant or something, they'll give you some either lemon water or cucumber water. So it makes sense that you would just do that with a beer.
Exactly.
Why overcomplicate it, too? Although you did, a little more creativity with the adding 3 different types of cucumber. So this is your culinary background.
Well, 2 different kinds of cucumber in this, but I can taste beers and I can taste recipes, I can taste dishes in my head, and so I get ideas and I think about how we can then produce them in a beer, and I like to layer flavors. I like to add savory components. I like to make it well-rounded.
Okay.
But in all, the beer style is always what is going to dominate. It has to be a great base beer, and then if we're going to flavor it, what I call my foodie forward beers, or unique flavors for the curious palate.
Okay.
It's just adding different dimensions, different flavors, different excitements, different opportunities for our beer customers.
Yeah. So it sounds like
it's fun for everybody.
It sounds like the two of you then work together on the recipes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She's the CFO, Chief Flavor Officer.
Okay, excellent.
So that's actually her title now, and I try to figure out, okay, now I have to make this in the beer. How do we take an ingredient that might not work? Is there a substitute? So
that's great.
Yeah, we have quite a little lab at home for
we
playing
do,
around.
We do research to try to think things out before we go for it, but we really don't do any pilot batches. We do produce 60 barrels of beer, and that's our trial.
Okay.
But, we think about things, and depending on the kind of beer that we might create, we might do analyses of, for instance, the next beer that we're going to do will have coconuts in it. So I'm getting a spectrum of different varieties of coconuts, and I'll evaluate the flavors and see which of those might taste more like what I'm tasting in my head.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Now, I know we have a lot of new beers to talk about, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention the great Campfire Stout, especially as we're talking about some of these different flavors. Campfire Stout has become a very popular beer. Is it your most popular beer?
It's our most popular beer now, and I created that one as well.
Okay. I think people who we have listeners all over the place, right? So there's plenty that haven't tried Campfire Stout. Here in the Bay Area, when it goes on tap at our place, it's very popular. People just love it. Tell us about the beer and then where this idea came from.
Well, we were looking for, Steve said, well, I really need a summer beer or something that would be appropriate, and it just kind of popped in my head. And when he got back in the car, I said, well, I just thought of a beer. These are the ingredients. And I said Campfire Stories. And Steve said Campfire Stout.
Nice.
People have been asking us for stout at beer tastings for years. And stout was not really big. You know?
Yeah.
And it was a little heavy and whatever. But I remember a lot of people would just request stouts. And so when I came up with this, Steve said, okay, let's go for it. We did it as a specialty, as a trial batch at EJ Fair. We used chocolate malt.
No, Devil's Canyon.
It was Devil's Canyon at the time.
This is way
Where
back.
you brewed it? Okay.
Yeah, that was our overflow for when we ran out of space at Drake's.
Well, you got breweries everywhere, Steve.
We've
got
been
breweries in
gypsies.
Atlanta.
About 10 a year we're brewing in, but yeah, it was literally like that crazy idea, and I'm like, oh.
And then we put the graham crackers in. I would go to stores and just buy graham cracker crumbs off the shelf.
Okay.
Now we have them specially milled for us. They're organic graham cracker crumbs that are milled for us.
Okay. Nice.
And then the toasted marshmallow, I tasted a large spectrum of things before I wanted to meet the taste in my head.
Right, to get that toasted. It was basically an American stout? Okay.
And so basically it's a deconstructed s'mores.
You wanted s'mores.
It's a s'mores profile without the sweetness.
Got it. Okay. And it doesn't have the sweetness. That's one of the I think why it's so popular, too.
The only change to that recipe, in reality, was the first batch. Someone said, we had a little tasting, we brought it to, and everyone's like, oh, I love this. I don't think I could drink a pint. And it was like, the light went off. No, that's not right then. So we tweaked the recipe. It was about 7.5% back then. We brought it down to 6.5% and lowered some of the vanilla contents and dried it out. It's a dry stout. It actually finishes very dry.
Okay.
And second release, it was one of these. We were up in Chico doing a beer fest, and this line just started forming, and everyone's asking for that. They didn't even know the name. That beer with the graham cracker, that chocolate thing. This line just erupted, and the next week in another pouring, just randomly, nobody knew about the beer.
Yeah.
And just word of mouth at the festival turned into that's the hit.
That's cool.
And our one little experiment beer turned into like 70% of our volume right now.
That's so cool.
It's insane.
And we just won another gold medal for that at the State Fair as well, and won in 2014 at the State as well as GABF gold. So
Wow.
we're really proud of that baby.
You should be.
Absolutely.
What a cool idea, too. Well, do you want to try another beer before we have to take a break?
Yeah, I brought
a
little sour here.
Let's do that.
Ramble on Rose. Yes.
All right, so while you're pouring, I can ask you about that. Now, am I allowed to call you a deadhead? Is that a compliment for you?
That would be acceptable.
I thought so. Because some of your names are based on a Grateful Dead songs, right?
A few of them.
Just a few. Plus, I do always see you in tie-dye. Barry, would you call yourself a deadhead as well?
I would call myself a Dead fan.
Okay.
Deadhead, a Grateful Dead fan.
Okay.
Steve actually took me to my first Grateful Dead show.
Nice. Okay.
But yeah, we.
This is clearly a big part of your life, Steve, because you've incorporated it into your career and
it's
everything.
it's a hobby.
Yeah. Okay. Very nice. All right. So so this is one Ramblin' Rose.
Yeah. This was actually the third or fourth sour release. So this is the first of the ones we call our Calambic series, which California Lambic. With not trying to be a lambic, we basically it's inspirationally love the lambic style.
Okay.
So
yeah.
We
So it's not clambic.
No.
Okay.
No. Right. Different genre.
Okay.
Altogether. Yeah.
We might be there.
That's Adam and Eve.
It's a goose.
Yeah.
Wait till I do our Adam and Eve promo, and then we can.
But
that's wonderful.
So this is actually would be a traditional lambic or goose base beer. Just a lot of corn, a lot of wheat, a lot of complex carbohydrates and starches and things to
oak
last in the barrel. All red wine barrels, 1 year.
You can taste the char, which I feel like you can't usually in a kind of a lambic style, but I really enjoy it because you kind of get that higher sweetness, that kind of charred sweetness up front, and then it finishes with a kind of dryness in the tart.
Yeah,
it's a kind of a switched. I think usually in lambics and usually in sour beers, you get the barrel kind of at the end.
Okay, yeah.
This is the beginning, and it's kind of reversed,
and then goes away.
So
I like it. I think it's great.
All blueberry from the fruit standpoint. For you look at the color and the pink, and
from the San Joaquin Delta.
Originally was done for Breastfest.
Okay,
we did this at Beer Camp 2 years ago in Breastfest. We released a single barrel.
Okay.
So we went back and I think we did 50 or 60 barrels on this release, and then the rose and the rose hips are and the rose petals are all from our front rose garden.
Oh, nice.
So that's in there. And then the pink peppercorn is the other kind of spin that you'll pick it up at the end. It's got kind of it dries it and gives it a nice little unique finish.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in there. But
we really strive for balance in all of our beers. And this is it's a really what I call a delicate sour. We don't want the rose to smell like grandma's, sachet in the closet. It's all just, it has nuances of the rose. It has the fruit. It has some tartness, and the peppercorn gives a little bit of the dryness at the end. But it's a beautiful pink-hued beer, really appropriate for the Breast Fest that we do for the breast cancer relief. And we did it as a little bit as a trial, and it just hit really well. It was really well received as well. And so we put into production. This year was our first production
release,
year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How long was this aged for?
The base beer was 1 year.
Okay.
The blueberries on this were in for 4 months.
Okay.
The rose petal, rose hip, and pink peppercorn are actually in bright, the last.
I see. So you go 1 year as just kind of a base lambic, then you start adding things at the back.
The last,
end.
so 9 months in, we start adding the fruits.
Okay.
Typically, and the blueberry went in and had beautiful. There are these huge blueberries from Stockton area. They're massive.
Why wouldn't you add the fruits in the beginning?
The previous experience I had, we did we've done some long term with pomegranate and cherries, and what I found was the fruit to get this character, which is fresh and lively.
Yeah,
it faded out.
Okay,
and it just settled out of the barrel, and I where'd that fruit go? And
that makes sense.
Started playing around, just moving it a little bit later and later. And the only thing you have to watch is the sugar. So you just don't want to. You've got Brett there. You don't want to leave a lot of sugars for bottling. So
right,
you've got to watch that. That kind of determines whether it's 3 months or 4 months. And
okay,
but I find the fruit. We've been using on all the recent releases. It's so much fresher and brighter flavor.
It is still, it's fresh and bright. It's fantastic. I don't get the peppercorns yet, but maybe that's exactly what you're going for, where it's all kind of subtle and it does all blend together really well. in a nice way. It smelled like Cantillon in the beginning. It's nowhere near as sour as something like that. Sounds like that's not what you were going for. But my first, the aroma was like rosé, the Gambrinus.
Yeah, totally.
Which is a beautiful aroma.
I'll take that compliment.
Right? Yeah, I would do it.
Yeah.
I really think it smells fantastic. This is a nice beer.
We've got another, the next one, the Stella Blue, which is basically the same base beer with the blueberries, but only half or so of the barrels have blueberries, and then there's a strawberry rhubarb component. But we went for a sour. There are a little more punch to it. And
Okay.
You'll pick that up, and we just a higher blend of more lactic barrels.
Got it.
As this is a little bit more delicate, but
This,
all of our
this had some
sours
barrels
are.
that were not sour at all. They're beautiful flavored, and we started blending, and like it was nice little combination.
And that's really the key in the end, right, to a great lambic style beer is to do blending.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't often just take it out of the barrel and it's done.
No, there's a lot of let's try a little of this one, a little of that one, and so we've got some of them will have 3 to 4 different components. We've got one. There's a kiwi kumquat coming up. That's the West meets East, and that has barrels with kiwi only, barrels without kiwi, barrels with kumquats.
Yeah.
And then some with Brett only, some with Brett and lacto.
Okay.
I've kind of 7 months ahead of bottling. I've got to kind of figure out which barrels are going to go. So take a best guess at it. But until it's blended, we won't really know.
See, that seems like the really hard part to me. I like hearing you say, Barry, that like you have this vision of it in your head and and then you try to execute it. When it comes down to you've got all these barrels, you've done all the work, and now you have to figure out what's next. And I'm not a brewer that way, so it seems so impossible to me.
Yeah, it's about 75 wine barrels to go through and
right?
sort.
And you're tasting those throughout the year, too, right? Not just at the end.
All through whenever we're there, I just pick different ones, sample off. There's groups of them that prefer. I mean, there might be a bad one there we'll toss out, but there'll be 24 to 32 barrels that are pretty similar.
Yeah, okay.
Are you starting with all pretty much the same base beer recipe, like grist?
Yes.
And everything? Okay.
Yes. There's minor changes. The primary change we've been using is Brett strain changes.
Okay.
So
just in fermentation?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the base, solid base, been used probably a year and a half now.
Okay.
We have some changes coming up for some future beers, but it will be fairly minor mods.
And that's across several different beers, you're saying?
Yeah,
Base
I like to
works.
keep something
Okay.
base that'll work that I can go on, and it's kind of a little more reproducible, and I can predict what's going to happen.
And that's kind of a traditional way to do it, too, right? I mean, a lot of the Belgian breweries do this. I think the Rare Barrel does it, to just have a solid base, and then you can change the rest.
Yep.
So.
The only difference, we have a dark sour. That's the only one that's the odd out, and that's Campfire and our porter.
Okay.
So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you taste a barrel that tastes off and you think you have to dump the beer, is the barrel salvageable, or do you chuck the barrel as well?
We chuck the barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless it's something that's most of the time it's just chuck the barrel.
Okay.
Yeah,
Safer that way.
Solvents come into play. Yeah, it's a lot easier than dealing with. There's a couple barrels we've flagged and we've put a mark, and I note that let's keep an eye on that one. And some have been fine. Second round been great. We get some barrels from the wineries. Occasionally have a Brett spike on it, so we'll take those. We typically will only take clean, lab tested, QA clean barrels. So, but I have had a few wild ones come in, and just amazing flavors in a couple of them. It's kind of my favorite barrels now.
Okay.
So they get lost in the mix somewhat, but they're worth keeping.
You'll find them again
Yeah.
when you taste them.
Totally.
There you are, sweetheart. Well, this is wonderful. I love this beer. Let's take a quick break so we can try some more, if you don't mind. We are talking with Highwater Brewing Company. You can go to, let me make sure I get this right, highwaterbrewing.com and check it out. You can look at their list of beers there, their core beers, their seasonal. We'll be right back with Steve and Barry from Highwater.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5 Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5 Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5 Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5 Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5 Star treatment today.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states. Plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small, single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy shit.
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
For more than 20 years, White Labs has collected yeast strains from around the world and kept them locked away. Until now. Through the Yeast Vault, they are now releasing new, creative, and unique strains. Most have never been used in commercial products. Some have names you can barely pronounce. And all are uniquely White Labs in quality and performance. Now they're giving you the opportunity to unlock the vault. Here's how it works. Pick the yeast you want from the vault. As soon as 500 people have chosen that yeast, your card will be charged and your yeast will go into production. A short time later, a fresh White Labs Pure Pitch package will show up at your door, ready to make the beer you've always wanted to brew. For the first time, White Labs is letting you into their secret yeast vault, unlocking access to hundreds of strains never available before. Join the White Labs Customer Club for first access to the vault. If you work in retail sales, the restaurant industry, or are a new craft beer enthusiast, or you know someone who is, you have got to check out Beer 101. Beer 101 is an online course created for anyone wanting a quick introduction to the vast world of craft beer. Beer 101 covers the history of beer, brewing ingredients and processes, vital stats like ABV, SRM, IBU, and gravity, styles, tasting, glassware, and pairing beer with food. The Beer 101 course is offered by the Brewers Association at craftbeer.com, also home to the truly awesome Beer Style Finder, a visual guide to every beer style. Quickly play with color, bitterness, and alcohol content to interactively explore the entire world of beer styles with a gorgeously designed interface to your favorite beverage. The new Beer 101 course and new Beer Style Finder are only available at craftbeer.com. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer.
Tuned into this session because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
Welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're here with Highwater Brewing Company, drinking some wonderful beer. This might be one of those shows where I have to Uber home, which I'm fine with that.
Uber everywhere.
I think
I Uber everywhere.
I think this is fine by me. I wanted to remind you about our good friends over at Beersmith. You can go to beersmith.com. It's the Beersmith home brewing software, although we meet a bunch of professionals who come in here and use it too. It's very robust. It's the most up-to-date stuff that you can get, but you don't have to take our word for it. As you know, you can go get your free 21-day trial right now. It works on Mac, and it works on the other thing. What's it called? Windows?
PC.
The PC. Thank you.
You don't have to pigeonhole it because it could be Linux or or Ubuntu.
You're right.
Or,
I just forget what the things are. Is there another one now, or is it still just the two?
Maybe Raspberry Pi, but who knows?
I don't know if it works on that yet. But
they have a DOS version. That's what I'm running.
They might. You could ask Brad. He's very robust.
Brad's
right
robust,
word?
and I think he's smart enough to code a DOS one for you.
He would do that for me.
I'm sure he would.
Great.
Go check it out. You can design great beer. He's also got a podcast. He's got videos. He has a DVD that he did with John Palmer. He's very prolific. He's doing much more work than we're doing. Let's be honest. So go over to beersmith.com right now and check it out. Get your free 21-day trial. And thanks for all the support, Brad. All right. So what beer is in my glass now, Steve?
Oh, this would be Stella Blue.
Stella Blue.
Stella Blue.
Love
so.
it.
Another
All right.
Grateful Dead inspired.
I'm surprised that our other co-host, Doc, did not show up tonight because he is such a Dead fan as well. I think he's ill. So tell me about this beer.
So it is not blue, obviously. But
It is not, yeah.
And actually, we had put this in the State Fair last year and got a gold and didn't even have a name for it. It was called the Blueberry Strawberry Rhubarb. And I decided that's Stella Blue. So we went and brewed it. And it is, again, about half the barrels have blueberries, half don't.
Okay.
And then so it's very similar to the way the Ramble on Roses started. And then strawberry and rhubarb puree.
Interesting.
At the last 2 months. So.
Rhubarb is an interesting choice, Barry.
Yeah, so strawberry rhubarb was Steve's favorite pie.
I see. Okay.
It's a great pie.
It's a great pie.
Yeah. We thought it would make a nice marriage with the blueberries, and this is a little bit more tart forward than the Ramble on Rose.
A little bit, yeah.
What you would think of a sour being a little bit more. What I say is brighter, a little just bit more tart.
It's got more tart
forward.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And we won a gold medal last year at the State Fair, and then recently won a few weeks ago, a gold medal at the North American Brewing Award.
Okay. Congratulations.
Idaho.
Steve, I have to be honest with you. So I've always liked your beer, but you really have stepped up your game in the last couple years. I mean, these are really something else. The first sour you gave me, I really enjoyed, but this is, and as you're seeing from the medals, these are now really world-class sour beers. I think you've really come into your own with these. This is something else.
Thank you.
I like it quite a bit. And it just sounds like you have such great ideas, these combinations of fruits to put together so that it's not just a strawberry lambic or just a blueberry, right? You're adding other things to it. I think that's really part of the difference. Yeah, you guys are killing it. How old's this beer? About a year and a half?
This one, with total production was 14 months, and we just released it 2 months ago.
Okay.
So,
this seems like this is already an expensive undertaking for brewery owners that have property, and you guys as contract brewing and renting, holding on to beers like this seems very expensive and difficult to do.
It can be.
It can be.
You have to do a lot of it.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Okay.
We typically right now we're brewing 100-barrel batches to feed barrels, and the releases. The next release will be the first. It'll be 125 barrels.
Okay.
Liquid, volume release. So that'll be the kiwi will be our largest, and then there's the traditional cherry in December, but we of course threw some pomegranate. There'll be pomegranate juice going in with that.
Nice.
That's a repeat from that's like 10, 15 years ago. We used to do Freaky Creek.
Okay.
So that'll be a different name, but basically the same concept, renovated.
I love it.
Yeah. So,
have you run into issues where you've filled barrels, you're waiting for them? Let's say it's 6 or 8 months into it, and you have to move them. Like maybe one because it sounds like you left Drake's and moved to another brewery. You never had to move the barrels around.
Yeah, one move only.
You did. Okay.
Yeah. When we were at Drake's, when the barrel house was built.
A
lot of those barrels were Highwater in there. When you went to the barrel room and then they moved down the warehouse a bit, so we had storage there.
Okay.
But yeah, we did a one-time empty into kegs and then transported them down.
I see.
So actually, when we were at Hermitage Brewing, the first sour, the La Petite Diablotin, was technically brewed at Drake, so we had to file one-day waivers to essentially bottle it under Drake's license at Hermitage. So it was kind of under them.
Oh, yeah.
And then return to Drake's.
Because you can't just do those things.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
I spent a lot of time doing those licensing. It's a lot easier. We have the 23 now, so we can do a lot more flexible. And we have our wholesale license still. So
23 means you're a brewery now.
Yeah, small brewer.
A small brewer.
So
okay.
Small brewer. So we also contract beer, so we use that under the license of that. And then when we do a collaboration, like we just did at Uncommon, we did the Flamenco Roja. It was our first sour can.
Okay.
And doing those are fun because we now can legally put our name and logo on the can.
Right.
With Alex. So we've got Highwater and we've got Uncommon, but we can't actually sell the beer as it's not really Highwater beer, so it's actually sold as it comes in an Uncommon case.
I see.
And I'm his distributor for those batches, and then we resell it as Highwater, collaboration. But
okay,
you go through
this
the
is the
paperwork.
tricky
It's like,
stuff.
Yeah, it's like okay, it's technically this is a sell through.
Yeah.
But
now, was there ever a plan to get your own brewery, spend a bunch on your own equipment, and that's? I know you have fermenters, you have equipment, so I don't mean you have nothing, but you see what I'm asking.
I got a forklift and I got 4 fermenters.
I mean everything but a brew house,
yeah,
right?
Well, I have like 10 different brew houses. I just don't own any of them.
That's right.
So,
and I like this model, so I'm only asking if you thought maybe you'd change.
I absolutely. When we first got in the game, Highwater business plan. Version 1, about 9 versions ago, was let's contract brew for 2 years, and then we'll go take a bunch of debt on, build our own brewery, and I'll sit there and brew all day. And
right.
And what happened was, Campfire came along, and a few other beers that just took off, and it was like, what size brewery do we build, and why would we? And we've got these contact houses, which are, the ones Hermitage is fantastic. We have a great relationship, and it's at the point now. It's like,
and they're the ones with the 100-barrel brew house too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do 4 25s a day there.
I see.
When,
okay.
When we're brewing, so we can do a 25-barrel increment, a 50, or a 100.
I see.
So it's kind of come into play. Like, I spend a lot of my day doing legal issues and dealing with different. We're in 10 states right now and 25 countries. So exporting, and each state has its own fun thing. So. We've got people selling beer, and I'm like, I don't have time to run a brewery. And when I show up at a brewery and the glycol chiller breaks, and I watch the panic, and I just get to go home and go, that sucks.
So even
perfect. Bye. See you
Figure
later.
it out. I'll see you tomorrow.
Their model is to make money, and they, we're at a disadvantage in one way that. We've got a cost structure that's higher than a traditional brewery.
Yeah.
But that just means I don't go out and put a lot of pale ales out. I have to pick beers that make sense from a business model. I can resell it high. The Kolsch, this is probably the biggest, it's marketing.
From that.
Because this is $9.99 a 4-pack on the shelf today. So we're not making much in that. It's
so that's
fun beer.
If you don't mind me asking that, so you don't necessarily reduce your margins, except for maybe on a beer like this. You just put out higher-end beer so that you can have similar margins to a traditional brewery.
Exactly.
Okay, and that makes sense. And then even though you're quite busy, it sounds like a lifestyle decision.
Literally right now where we're at, it makes more sense.
Yeah, okay.
To do it this way. Now, I look at the phase like we keep ramping and, maybe a larger contract house at some point and then the Chuck Silva model. I'm like, put out the rocking chair and put the smaller brewery in.
Right.
And, let the kids run the tap room when they're old enough. That could be a long-term plan.
I like that it's already the Chuck Silva model.
Right.
But I hear you. You're
I
right.
would like to trademark that phrase because I'm following that heavily. But
yeah,
it's kind of like you hit that point and it's like, you can only do so much. And, if the quality's great and, I still am interactive in the brewing.
Yeah.
Especially like at EJ when it's a new beer, we go in and we spend the day, and it's fun. But that's kind of a few times a month. That's actually pretty good for me right now, and then I get to go do other things.
That's how Tasty brews. He shows up for collaborations. He doesn't do shit. He brings a recipe.
He brings help.
Hell yeah!
Bring the recipe.
He brings the help.
We both got a pail of
I'll be
hops
at the
in
bar.
trunk. Show up for a collab, throw my hops in, get my picture.
Yeah, right.
The downside is the paycheck on that.
Yeah,
on that
that's
model.
true. Yeah.
You don't get much. You don't get much.
You ever thought about just a little tap room?
Actually,
little bar.
We have a bunch, and we literally have a tap room that we don't own. We contract tap house as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a place called Tap's Barrel House in Stockton. They approached us about bringing one of our tasting room licenses in.
Oh, wow.
And we're like, this is awesome.
You can do that?
Yeah.
It's a 23.
Jesus.
As a 23, yeah.
5 or 6 tasting licenses. So I can set a tasting room up anywhere today legally and just pour only my beer. But the thing there was like it's Stockton, and I don't think I can survive on just one beer without a brewery behind me.
Mm-hmm.
We could do growlers and things like that. But in order to bring guest beers in, I have to have a restaurant. So there's a restaurant with the people that we're working with right now. The ABC wouldn't let us split the restaurant.
Okay.
So it had to be fully owned by us and run. And we started doing the math on it. It's like it just didn't make sense. That was going to turn into a full-time job.
Right.
So we essentially came up with this great idea of Tap's Barrel House, which it's owned by Werlo's Restaurant, and it's right next door to it. It's right on the Miracle Mile, and they put in 28 taps. And what they're called Taps Barrel House, featuring Highwater beers. So
I see.
it's like our card, their card, kind of combined.
Oh, in one. Okay.
So we have 10. We've had up to 14 beers on out of the 28 taps.
Okay.
So we usually average 8 to 10.
That's fantastic.
And then they've got just fantastic selection of everything else from California and around.
That's awesome. So you're still getting your money on the tap room
We sell
because
directly
that's a big
to them.
Yeah.
So you just wholesale
That's
to
a big
them.
draw.
Wholesale to them, but it's hey, we're
But
going
to have
your
8
beer
taps, yeah, I mean,
and bottle sales.
Yeah.
So
they
we
carry all of our bottles and cans, and then when, for instance, when we had our 5th anniversary, we had 14 of the taps. Or anytime we want to do special releases or
They're all over.
or special events, they're all for it, and it's a win-win. So anytime we go to festivals or events, and people say, "Oh, where can I go to drink your beer?" We'll say, "Here's Taps Barrel House right there on Pacific Avenue in the Miracle Mile in Stockton." So it's a place for them to go and enjoy, and taste samples of all of our beers or engages they would like, and a place for Taps to feature us and have bragging rights.
I mean, that's probably pretty important, especially in this market, to have a central location.
Yeah, it's point two, and it's nice. I'll throw in a case of like 2011 bourbon barrel barley wine bottles. I'll bring them in, and we just sell them. They go right on the shelf, the same price as the 2013s, and it's just kind of a little surprise, extra sours. And
that's cool.
Anything rare, one-off kegs we bring there and release it. So,
did we buy any of these sour beers for my place here yet?
You've had
the Rosé and the
Rose, Ramblin' Rose, I
we
think,
have?
and I think
Good.
Stella Blue came through on bottles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I might have to go check our cellar before I leave tonight. And leave with some good beer.
I'll leave a couple as well.
Do you want to try another beer before we got to go? I'd love to try a little bit more. And maybe while we're picking something out, Barry, is there what's coming down the pipe? You have some unique ideas in your head that you're waiting to get out?
I have lots of ideas. Some of these beers that you're tasting now have been in my head for a while, but the barrel-aged beer that Steve was alluding to, the West Meets East, I'll just give you a little fast one on this, is that we actually went up and got 2,000 pounds, a little ton of kiwis, and Steve and I hand-processed those for the barrels.
Okay.
But coming out, we're going to be brewing next month, is our next summer release called Sunshine Daydream. Again, another Grateful Dead song.
Beautiful.
And that is I can taste it in my head, it's a beautiful orange cream ale with cocoa nibs. The cocoa nibs I was referring to earlier. So think of an orange creamsicle coated with a bittersweet chocolate.
I could think of it right when you said it. It sounds like a great idea.
So that's our next one coming up, and I'm looking forward to brewing it and drinking it.
Do any of the breweries that you brew in hear Barry's ideas and go, "Oh shit, what are we gonna do?"
They see her coming, like, "Here comes Barry, crazy ass Barry."
I'd much rather fix a glycol chiller than process 200 pounds of kiwis.
No, 2,000 pounds.
2,000, yeah, even worse. I'll fix 2 glycol chillers.
No, that was actually that was a great day because Peter Light just looked at me and goes, "I think I have a solution." And I'm looking at the hand puree thing, and he rolls out his sausage grinder, which is this big.
Yeah.
This thing would take 10, 15 pounds a second of kiwi, and we just shoved it in, and it squirted into a big grant, a kiwi grant, and literally hooked up a lobe pump, and I'll tell you one thing: the 2-inch brewer's hose with a bull pump on the end of it, full of kiwi.
Yeah,
my shoulders are still hurting.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Pumping it in the barrel, though, was beautiful. We just, some of the barrels have like up to 80 pounds of kiwis in them.
Yeah.
And,
wow.
Oh, it's yeah.
And I'm joking, of course. Like in the end, I'm sure these brewers get excited about it. But in the beginning, I bet they get scared.
No, absolutely. I think like with this beer that we're about to drink now, called Boom Boom Out Goes the Lights. I have these ideas and they said, okay, let's go for it. And they're going to brew what we asked them to brew.
Yeah.
But they're a little skeptical. And then after it's done, they're like, wow, that really works. And so they're really pleased with it. And it's a nice surprise for everybody.
I think
for them.
I love this combo of a talented chef and a brewer. I think that does seem to work really well.
Yeah, I have a lot of. We tasted at the end also, creating the getting the final flavors chosen as well, because my palate is I would say pretty educated.
Yeah.
So I have a good taste, some good taste buds going. And this one called Boom Boom Out Goes the Lights. It's a traditional Gosa style, and to this, I mean that's the base. Because what we did was we introduced some apple juice, and then galangal root.
I don't even know what that is.
Which is
I don't even know how to say it.
I totally picked that out.
Which is so galangal is to Thailand what ginger is to China. So it has some of the same ginger-like flavor with some pine, some pepper, some floral notes without being as peppery assertive as ginger.
I was going to say it's not as spicy.
Yeah. Exactly. And then because it was Fuji apple and galangal, I went with pink Himalayan sea salt. So I'm keeping the Asian part of the world all intact there.
Yeah.
And we just rebrewed this batch. This was for our 5th anniversary, celebrating our 5th anniversary of Highwater, and we just brewed a second batch. And we wanted to increase the apple flavor profile.
Okay.
Again, we just kind of go for it and put our best efforts forward. And after, we might make adjustments if we want to, reintroduce the style again. And so we got some beautiful fresh apple from
Pink Lady.
Pink Lady apple from
beautiful
Apple Hill,
Two Rivers,
up in Camino.
Yeah, through Vincent Two Rivers.
Yeah.
Our new juice source.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, we still carry their cider every now and then.
So the next batch is it's going to come out in about a week. So it'll be interesting to see where the apple plays out, and I think we're going to go up a little on the salt. This is 7.3% also.
That's what I was going to ask, if this is another one of your strong goes.
Yeah. It is, and we found that this beer actually comes across more like champagne or hard apple cider. And so when we're pouring at events for people that are not beer centric or aren't into craft beer, we say, do you like apple juice? Do you like champagne? And they say, or apple cider anyway, hard apple cider, and they really enjoy that. So we find that a lot of our beers, because they cross so many gamuts and go across so many thresholds, can appeal to a large spectrum of drinkers. Whether they're hop forward, or they like hobby beers, or they like sours, or they like, the stouts and whatnot. So we're finding that we're creating a beer for everybody.
Well, and beers like this are perfect for a place like mine. So we don't serve wine here. We can't as part of our license. And we do serve cider, and we always keep a couple on. But we get people coming in going, I don't really drink beer. I like cider. And maybe they don't like the cider we have. This is a beer I would offer anybody who said, I do like you mentioned like a champagne quality. I think that's there. I think there is a cider quality. It's got a little bit of all of it.
It's like a spiced cider, even like a mulled cider.
Yeah. With the galangal in there, right?
Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
It also tastes like a goza to me.
Yeah.
So it's still beer.
Chefs have joked on this. I mean, we've done some beer dinners coming up, and it's just been kind of like, beautiful idea.
Like with a flan. Like with a nice flan.
Oh, yeah.
Flan
Barry, tell me.
Came up with? What did you say?
Flan.
He wants
flan. Oh, flan.
Right?
Yeah, I could see a nice caramelized sugar on there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Absolutely. With candied ginger.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Flan Jeremy. That'll be my next beer.
Flan Jeremy.
Flan Jeremy.
Steve, please, I'm begging you.
Flan Jeremy.
Don't go there. Well, we actually we have a beer dinner scheduled in Stockton on 7/11, July 11th through Midgley's Public House, and he's going to pair the Boom Boom Alco's Lights with a oyster on the half shell with an apple mignonette.
Wow.
So that should go really well. That should go really pretty as well.
Is that listed on the website? People can go find it?
It is.
All right, highwaterbrewing.com if you want to look up beer dinners and events that these two are doing around the Bay Area. Do you ever go to the other states and do these types of things too? You said Arizona and Washington you're distributed as well?
Arizona, just did our first trip there.
Okay.
Did 3 events in Arizona.
Excellent.
So it was a lot of fun. It was nothing direct paired, but we'll be back. We're definitely heading back there.
We haven't done beer dinners, but we're actually in Vermont, Florida, Missouri, Alaska, New York.
Okay.
Florida.
Oh, you got to be in New York,
Arizona.
don't you? No.
Arizona, Washington, Nevada.
California.
We're in Europe.
Oh, in California.
We're in Taipei. We're in Tokyo. We're all over Europe.
You guys are kind of a big deal.
Spain, Italy, Greece.
When you go, and this is probably a really stupid question,
et cetera, et cetera.
When you have European or international markets like Tokyo,
do you
you have to translate the label?
Nope.
That is such a stupid question.
Wow.
No, but
You know what?
It's a new
Turn
love
your
here.
mic off. You don't deserve to talk.
We have to do it
anymore.
in Florida. We have to simplify it. But
This is beer.
It's
No, we have to have
high water
an
beer.
FL. Sorry, Flan. We have to have FL on there, and our first Canada is we're heading there in 2017. And it takes about a year to get into the registration. Campfire's going there, and we have an additional sticker we have to put on the bottle.
Okay.
In French or something?
Haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
But it's more along the line. It's an international. It's a corporate.
It has to be in French.
Just tells them they got to surrender whenever we challenge.
Right.
Yeah.
By drinking this,
it's a directive.
you're admitting
Just surrender.
Yeah. Have you tried Chechnya? I think there's a big
Hello! This beer for you!
Hey, we're big in Latvia.
From me,
We are.
Chechnya.
Czechoslovakia. The thing is, we have a distributor in Denmark, and they have then sub-distributors all over. So we found on top, among other places, the apps. When I'm looking at reviews or checking stuff out, and it was like, they're drinking us where? So that's how we found out that we're in Switzerland and Sweden and Greece and on the beaches of Barcelona and Spain and Catalonia and Italy and
I love it. In Chechnya,
Greece.
untapped is what we call water. We don't get it. All right. Well, you can find out more about Highwater Brewing Company over at highwaterbrewing.com. And they've got their events up there. There's a blog. There's merchandise. You can meet the crew, learn more about all of this stuff. And we're going to keep hanging out and drinking some of this beer.
Yes, we are.
We're going to talk to some brewers next from
Israel.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was
Not
just going
Chechnya.
Like one of those.
But oddly enough, they sound the same. Hello, I am from Israel.
We're going to talk to some Israeli brewers. I believe they
Yes.
brought us some Israeli commercial
I think
beer
they brought
as
a
well as
lot,
homebrew.
which I'm really excited about.
They might have brought. You're welcome to stick around and try that with us. We're going to find out what the beer scene is like in Israel. Do you know if you have beer in Israel yet?
We do not. We
Okay.
have friends in Israel.
Okay, there we go. Of course you do. You're from New York. I mean, let's be honest.
I don't understand.
We just saw our pictures from India. The Cucumber Coals is sitting in India this week. So
That's cool.
We don't know how it got there, but
You guys, right?
Yeah.
We're not going to complain.
It needs to be sitting in my kitchen.
We're happy to spread. We're happy to spread the love,
Of course.
and for our fans as well.
Well, thanks so much for sharing this beer. Like I said, you guys are killing it. It's so good. Find their beer all around the Bay Area and elsewhere. Go to highwaterbrewing.com so you can find more about it. Barry, Steve, thanks for being in here. This was fun.
yeah, thank you.
Good stuff, right?
And great beers, too. Yeah, for sure.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to the folks from Israel. It's just one folk, I think, actually. There's one folk. They're only allowed one at a time. I don't know what the deal is.
Well, I think it's part of your license here.
It's part of my license, here at the Hop Grenade.
Yeah.
Hang in there. It's the session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
With over 20 years of experience making world-class craft beer and more than 100 gold medals in international competitions, Moylan's Brewing Company is not just a pretty face in craft beer. Just ask Brendan Moylan.
What do we got here? The beer of the hour. Moylan's, gotta love that big M. It's like a sign of awesomeness. Woo-hoo! It's got an extra kick to it. Let's pour this bad boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, Moylan's. At the end of the night when the kids are finally in bed, the wife's in bed, nobody's bothering your ass anymore, that's Moylan's time. Moylan's is for you. Yeah. It's to help you out. Yeah. It helps me out. What? Well, because it's freaking awesome. Northern California brewed. It's brewed with love. With love? Oh, yeah. Tremendous. And it's always best where? Moylan's. You gotta try it on tap at Moylan's in Novato. They're freaking awesome. Not only because I own the brewery, because I love the beer. Cheers. Boom.
Kilt Lifter Scotch Ale takes big beers to a whole new level with rich malt balanced perfectly with delicate hops, and now comes in 4-pack tall boy cans so you can take the party on the go. Or come to the brewery, take a tour, and try any of Moylan's fresh creations right from the source. Check them out at moylans.com.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support. Like
Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, there are amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and a Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer, whether for yourself or as a gift. When you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com. Hey there, BN Army. Have you heard the latest at Hop Tech? Since Hop Tech has doubled in size after a huge expansion, Jade and Roberto can stock even more of the best quality homebrewing supplies and equipment. Over 60 kick-ass varieties of hops and malts, monster truckloads of quality brewer's yeast, including White Labs, Y-yeast, and multiple dry yeasts. They even have all grain systems from Grainfathers and Ruby Street Brew Systems, thanks to Jade, the brand new all-grain brewer. And don't forget about their 10% discount to all BN Army members. Jade and Roberto are waiting for you and all of your brewing questions over at hoptech.com. HopTech, totally not sucking since 1983. Tampa Bay has become a great destination for craft beer lovers with more than 60 breweries and counting, like Cigar City, Tampa Bay, and Coppertail Brewing. One of the newest breweries is Four Stacks Brewing Company in Apollo Beach. Four Stacks believes that the West Coast can't have all the fun. So while we feature West Coast beer like Stone, Ballast Point, and Green Flash on tap, we also brew hopped up ales to our liking in the West Coast style, even as they're truly Florida. Come in and see for yourself. Four Stacks hosts monthly homebrew club meetings, bottle shares, and partners with local restaurants for free food delivery while you enjoy your pint in their new tap room. Stop by Four Stacks Brewing and support the greater Tampa Bay craft beer scene at a brand new community-oriented independent brewery. Four Stacks Brewing, bringing the best of the West Coast style and attitude. Four Stacks Brewing Company in Apollo Beach, Florida.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck.
I almost fixed it, and then it's about to fall out again right in your face, Harmony.
What, your life?
Well, yes. Exactly. It's exactly the story of my life. I almost fixed it, and then it's about
and then it fell out in my face.
Yeah.
You're like out on the wing of the airplane trying to fix the airplane and just flying it along.
Pretty much.
There's an airplane?
Yeah.
Something like that.
All right, welcome back to the program. I wanted to thank Steve and Barri from Highwater Brewing Company once again for coming in and sharing beer with us and talking about their story and their deal. That was a lot of fun. We got some good beer out of it, so that's pretty cool, too. Before we move on, we have a little contest giveaway tonight. We're giving away a couple tickets to the California Craft Brewers Association Beer Festival. Now, the California Craft Brewers Association puts together the California Craft Beer Summit. It was their first year last year, so this is their second one. We went to it. It was a really good time. And then as part of that, they've got one of the largest beer fests in this. Actually, it's the largest beer festival in the state of California.
It is.
It features over 160 craft breweries pouring over 450 beers, and they're all based out of California. Now, I went there to that festival last year. It was just killer. And so we're giving away 2 tickets to that. You can purchase tickets today. Take advantage of 25% off early bird ticket prices, and that ends June 30th over at craftbeersummit.com.
Yeah.
But the whole
Best tickets, baby.
The whole thing is the summit itself is September 8th through 10th, and then I assume that the festival's on that last day on the 10th, right?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So you got the festival on the 10th, and we're giving away 2 tickets to that. So here's what we're going to do. Don't call in just yet. We're just kind of getting you ready for this. But we are going to take, ultimately, we're going to take caller number 5. And we're going to do that probably in the next segment. I'm just getting you ready for it. You do need to either be in California or ready to be in California in September 10th so that you can go to this festival. We got 2 tickets to give to you. We're not going to give you the tickets and let you go, like, pawn them off or sell them. Or
no, you got to go.
You got to prove that you're going to go. So if you're from California, listening right now, get ready because we're going to do that call in just about 20 minutes or so. You can call in and check it out. Sound good?
That's a great festival, 160 breweries, and almost all the brewers are there because they're in town for the summit.
For the summit, yeah. It was the coolest thing last year, and it's on the Capitol Mall, so it's so spread out that it's a nice place to be, and it wasn't overly crowded, and we got to talk to the brewers, and I didn't have to stand in line for beer. It was really a cool thing. So,
and I didn't have to stand in line for beer.
That was just their first year.
So don't come this year. We want it to be the same way.
Right, yeah, I want to enjoy it just as much.
So go to cacraftbeersummit.com, cacraftbeersummit.com. You can buy tickets, but we're going to give away 2 tickets tonight. Sweet. All right. In the meantime, we're going to talk about Jew beer. Is that okay? Can we do that?
That's cool.
Jewish beer. Israeli.
You had to go there?
What?
Wow.
Isn't
he
that
much
wrong?
more than his belief system?
But also it is.
He just said he wants to talk about Jew beer, like your beer.
Yeah, Jew beer.
About your beer.
Chechnya.
About your beer.
In Chechnya, we're talking about Jew beer.
It's his accent.
Yeah.
About your beer.
Yeah.
Right,
in Chechnya, all we can do is talk about beer because we can't afford to drink it.
They don't have many other words.
No.
No other words. Just beer. Jew beer. No, we're talking to Levi Fried, who is from Israel. He came to... Actually, I met you, 6 months ago now or something?
It was last summer.
Thank you. That a year ago.
I see how your year's gone.
Oh, man, the time's just... Boy,
have you, though?
I've been listening.
Okay, no one's seen it.
I don't think he's seen it.
Boy, does the time fly.
I think that's the point.
Time flies when you're having fun. That's fine.
Levi came in just to hang out at the Hop Grenade and introduce himself. We got to talking a little bit, and I thought it'd be fun to have you come back and talk about the Israeli homebrew scene, which apparently is pretty big. There's a lot of homebrewers there, right?
Yeah, it's becoming very trendy.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
And as a special surprise, we brought back Scott the Jew to hang out on the show with you. He hasn't been here in so long he can't figure out how to use the headphones right now. But
he stole all the beer.
He stole all the beer. He's figuring out the headphones, and he's trying to figure this whole
Where's
situation
my wallet?
out. Bevo, hasn't your thing been working the whole time?
Yeah, it's fine now.
Okay. Everything's good in there?
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're fine.
Hi, Scott the Jew. Welcome back to the session. You came back for the Israeli show.
Beavis telling me to turn the mic on.
Oh, there you go.
I didn't know.
It's on. You're good. Welcome back to the studio.
Yeah, good to be back.
Yeah, of course, Scott does the Sour Hour all the time, so he's very much alive and well here at the BN, but now back on the session. And, Levi, when you reached out to me, I was like, I guess I should tell Scott.
Well, I'm here to translate Hebrew, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's what you're doing.
That's what I figured.
I need you.
So, how long have you been homebrewing?
We moved out to Israel in 2009. I began homebrewing in 2008.
From where? Moved out there from where?
I was doing some postdoc work in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
We're originally from Southern California. Yeah.
Harmony. And so Harmony is Levi's wife. She's here as well. Sorry, I had her microphone off. Not intentionally, Harmony. But you got to stick it in her face.
You used to.
Tasty will do it.
You're right up on that thing.
Okay. Okay, so you were living here in the U.S. and then you moved to Israel.
Yeah, I moved to Israel because I got accepted to medical school.
Okay.
In the north part of the country. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
The American medical school wouldn't take you?
That was the American.
Okay.
In Israel.
I needed to be a doctor.
Yeah. What kind of doctor are you going to be?
I was training to be...
Doctor of Finance.
Right now I'm
Doctor of Beer. He's the Doctor of Beer.
Yeah, now I'm a Doctor of Funk, but...
Okay. Excellent.
I was training to be a dermatologist. I spent a lot of time in dermatology and departments. So.
Okay.
Cool,
Yeah.
I got
after the program, you could just show me all the...
I got a ration with
It's
you.
It's like the
I just got sunburned yesterday. You can check that out.
Should my taint be this dark?
Yeah.
You should see all his text messages.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Oh, really? I get random pictures.
Some pictures.
And people don't, there's no description. Like, who is this? What part of the body? Like, it's a guessing game.
It's just a thing.
Just like our Gert questions here.
I got to tell you, a blister on one part is not the same.
No.
I need context.
It matters.
Guess the hives.
Right, yeah.
By the way, Tasty's had his rash since 1962.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that's going away.
It's not going away?
It's not an emergency.
I better contact that girl, too.
She gone.
Too soon.
Maybe not soon enough.
Maybe.
All right, so you end up back in Israel for med school.
Yeah, so I'm in Israel for medical school, and I began to learn how to brew because I thought there wasn't going to be any craft beer out in Israel.
Yeah.
And so began to learn extract, and when I got out there, I found a little brewery run by a friend of mine. It's called Lee Bira up in Haifa. Leonid Lipkin is the brewmaster there, and he was a home brewer who, got kicked out of his house when the system got too big.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
The classic story.
Story. Yeah.
So the wife says, you got to brew somewhere else.
It's a natural progression. Happens 1,000 times a day.
So I was able to buy my malt and hops and everything from him, and
otherwise they would have been unavailable.
They would be only available in Tel Aviv. So Tel Aviv is the largest city in Israel, and that's where most of the craft brewers and importers of malt and hops and yeast would be. Actually, the two importers of all of Israel, that's where they are. Right now, people are opening up craft like homebrew shops in other parts.
Oh wow!
So
it's gotten that popular that they can support
homebrewing
that.
is very popular because the taxes on alcohol production are just so high.
Well, how are they getting ingredients?
They're getting from the same importers that are the big breweries are getting.
Usually, the homebrew club will share ingredients.
Yeah, so they'll buy like a sack or something and share ingredients or share yeast, and they're very active because you got to. I don't know if you've found this trend here, but engineers love to brew.
Sure.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So you got a lot of engineers in that country. So
I see.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, we can make our own beer.
Sounds great. Yeah.
Are they typically stovetop brewers, like apartment brewers?
Yeah. So they start off on the stovetop and with extract and all that, but quickly they get the camp burners.
Okay.
And the big pots. It's
nice.
Blowing up there. Like there's a.
I don't think you can say that.
When I left, it's not the best term, but it's appropriate.
It's for this.
Yeah, if homebrewing's not, something is.
Yeah.
And we did a segment when the last time we had rockets flying by. I was like brewing and I called in.
I remember that. I remember that. Yeah,
I was like,
crazy.
hey, I'm brewing a batch.
Oh, that's right.
That's crazy.
How are your nerves not shot? How are you not just shaking all the time? I can't even get on a fucking airplane and nothing has happened to me or anybody I know.
We do when we walk down the street here and something. There's
like a firework,
like a backfire or something.
Well, we try and stay away from large crowds. I think we were discussing that the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Like just
naturally.
Like if there's where were we?
We were at Pride yesterday.
Oh, Pride.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were at Pride yesterday, and we were like,
the fuck out.
we gotta. No, we weren't freaking out. We're just like, we don't like to be in large crowds.
Yeah. Too many people all in one place.
But then we hit Cellar Maker, and the nerves calmed down, so that was really good.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Like JP says, like JP's nervous, and nothing's ever even happened to him.
I don't think I could. I don't think I could live there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's great, but
you can barely live here.
I can barely live.
If you called it that,
I'm trying. I'm struggling.
Scott,
that's why they need to homebrew.
Scott, I forget. Have you been back to the motherland?
Yeah, twice. I went when I was 13 as a bar mitzvah gift from my grandparents.
Yeah,
which is perfect.
Okay.
And when I was 17.
And when you were 17, did you have a beer there when you were there?
Yeah, the second trip. Yeah, I had the. Is it the Maccabi beer?
What is that?
That was the only beer available.
That's a domestic lager.
Okay.
There's two domestic lagers, and I could do the breakdown of the craft beer scene and just the beer scene in Israel. There's basically two domestic lagers, Gold Star and Maccabi, And then you'll have the imports like Heineken and Carlsberg and Tuborg.
Okay.
So those are it for your lagers. They have a huge Belgian import
scene,
which is great for us because now that we're back here, people are like clamoring over those Belgian imports, and you're like, yeah, we can get this stuff all the time.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So the Belgian imports, so they're doing very good. And recently they brought in Rogue and Brewdogs. So now they're getting a little bit of the IPAs coming in. And that's as far as the imports are concerned. And so the Israeli craft scene there's about like 20 craft breweries, but mind you, they're very small.
Okay.
A lot of them, I know one of the biggest craft breweries, which operated also as a contract brewery, was like 2 barrels.
Wow. Okay.
And one of the more popular breweries, Herzl out of Jerusalem, they're a 2-barrel also. So, but they're making a lot of beer. I mean, I feel bad for the guy. The guy's like
just brewing all day, every day.
Yeah, all day. There's one brewer.
Okay.
Yeah,
but it's got to be very regional. Like you don't get it all over the country.
Right. So you get it in Jerusalem. You get it in Tel Aviv, and then anywhere else, it's like really
hit or miss. Somebody bought it, moved it along the way, or something.
Exactly. There are breweries like Alexander, which is in the center, a little above Tel Aviv, that do national distribution, and Malka, which is near the Golan Heights, that does national distribution.
Okay.
And they're connected with distribution companies.
I see.
But for the most part, it's super local, super regional. But it, in a lot of sense, it's the same here now. Like, I was saying that I brought some Smog City. You guys couldn't get Smog City up here because they only get to Southern California.
They're regional. Like that.
Regional. So there it's regional, but it's to like a city. It's not like to
a county or
it's not the whole region. It's just a city.
Yeah. So like Dancing Camel, for instance, you would find them in like Jerusalem or Tel Aviv.
JP loves that name.
I love that name. I think it's great. Dancing Camel. It's cute as fuck.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But
Can I look it up right now?
I'm curious as to how popular a beer called Golden Star is in Israel.
Gold Star?
Gold Star. I think that'd be a little too soon.
What? Wasn't
from the Holocaust?
That was a Gold Star?
Yeah. They
sewn
made
on
you
your
wear
jacket.
A patch. Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
Oh yeah.
All
right.
Let's just
I thought it was
thanks for bringing it up.
I thought it was way funnier than it apparently it actually is.
This is the Dancing Camel logo?
Yeah.
Camel Charisma. What the fuck is that? I love it.
That's a whole other thing.
The Dancing Camel.
That's a porn site over there. this is the beer.
That looks like a fucking movie poster. It looks like a Disney movie. That's great.
Yeah.
That
is really
that's
good.
some good concept.
What's the average age of the consumer? 13?
In a world.
They could do that. I don't think in this country you could do that, but
there's a couple of them.
That looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got some good art.
David Cohen is the brewmaster there and owner, and they call themselves the oldest brewery in Israel. And
in a world where dancing has become forbidden, only one camel.
Camel loose.
Is David Cohen, what is he, like a Coptic Christian? Or
No, he's an expat. He's a Jew from
What?
the East Coast. Yeah,
David Cohen? Jew, you say?
Exactly.
What's with that? Now, you mentioned that homebrewing is in a growth phase, blowing up, as you said.
Yeah.
And
your words.
We went. Your words, not mine. We went through that here. Like it's already peaked here. Like it's kind of like a little backing off a little bit from what I gather in the industry. You guys are still growing because that's just that's probably driven by the cost model. That is.
I think so.
What is it like here? A lot of people think, well, I brew homebrew because I make my beer cheaper. Well, really you can? There, it's so much a bigger difference, you think?
I think to a certain degree it becomes cheaper. When you start talking about buying equipment, it becomes more expensive.
Right. Sure.
Yeah. So nobody really puts those and labor costs into the equation.
But it's access to good beer.
Well, that I think for me
is why you brew.
And the people in our brewery club, in our brewers club, home brewers club, that was the thing. The thing was access to good beers.
So here we are in typical Brewing Network fashion. We insult an entire population of people while the U.S. is going stagnant. Here's this whole market for the beer, for the BN.
Yeah.
And what do we do?
Oh, they listen to you guys. I'll tell you that much.
And we make make a lot of terrible jokes.
Yeah.
Well, for me, and I know for a lot of the homebrewers that I got to know in Israel, this network has been a godsend to them.
Oh, that's great.
The information, we can't just go and buy whatever books. We have to order them internationally.
Okay. Yeah.
That's expensive.
We don't have access to styles that you guys speak about in Brewing Classic Styles and on the style shows with Jamil and Tasty.
Okay.
So a lot of my knowledge, and I know a lot of other people there, they got their knowledge from those tasting notes.
Okay.
That's a good point. Sorry, Warren.
I like that.
What kind of styles are you seeing a lot over there? I can't imagine like Imperial Porter is super big over there. I would imagine it's a lot of light lagers. A lot of lagers in general, but a lot of lighter flavors.
You get like the standard 6 European styles, like amber, blonde, black, lager, ale.
It's a scary one.
Yeah.
Can we try some homebrew?
Yeah.
You brought us homebrew, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you guys have competitions, or like, are there BJCP certified people over there? Or how?
There are 2 competitions there. There's
I heard
long
about
shot
that.
and there's long shot, and then there's Hatasia.
Like, wait.
Sam Adams
wait.
long shot?
Long shot.
Right.
Yeah. Long shot
Is it the Sam Adams one, or it's a ripoff of that?
Sam Adams.
It's a rip.
Oh, it's the Sam Adams.
So they
one.
do
can't do anything at
They
Israel.
do it in another country as well, or region. Or,
Yeah, they do it there, and they give out Utopia's bottle.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that's been going on for several years, I think.
I
I'm almost
didn't
8
know that.
years.
Scott, I feel like you should go back and do an expose on homebrewing for us. I feel,
we'll get Jim Cook to get you a spot there on the Sam Adams long shot.
I mean, you get 2 things out of it. You get to go home, and also we get content about the homebrew scene, right?
Yeah,
You'd be into it.
As long as I can do a stopover in Europe, because I've already wasted 2 transatlantic flights and just blown right over Europe to Israel, and I need to stop.
That's
in Europe
a great
this
idea.
time.
Stop in Brussels, pick up the Cantillon.
There you go.
Bring it over there. Use it as currency.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're gonna need help.
Yeah.
So pick up some good stuff. Yeah,
That's how I did it when I came out here. I was like, Brussels.
He's the king beer smuggler.
Okay.
Oh yeah, 30 bottles.
30. What is the rule when you land there? Like,
I never had
There
a problem.
are no rules.
Okay.
If you don't get caught.
it's Israel. There are no rules.
It's the one rule is no alcohol.
There are no rules, and yet there are too many rules.
Exactly.
That's
all
what
the rules.
Like in Chechnya.
In Chechnya, we don't have rules because no one lived long enough to follow them.
Yeah. No one lived long enough to read rules that were set down by other Chechnyans who cannot read. So it's a lot of swirls and colors.
In Chechnya, there's no constitution because we don't have paper.
Or tuition.
Or tuition, yeah. Okay, so what is this?
Because it
lady?
smells amazing.
It's a Brett Saison. It's a sour. This is the Milk the Funk collaboration.
There you go. That's nice. Mm-hmm. I can drink that. Well done. What is the Milk the Funk collaboration?
Holy crap.
You don't want to know.
Yeah,
It was amazing.
it's best not to.
Milk the Funk is a group on Facebook that is like, how should you say, focuses on all things funk.
Okay.
So some people are like making weird concoctions that are beverages, and sometimes it's hot sauces or
I see.
fermented, I think, tomato juice I saw once. That was a pretty funky one.
That's interesting.
So they, people like Jay Goodwin are on there, and a lot of other professional brewers, and there's a lot of great information over there. So they did a collaboration beer. They gave out the recipe, and you just had to brew it, and anything with fermentation afterwards is up to the brewer.
Interesting.
So for me, like I like fermentation forward beers. So this one was used with yeast that I got from a bottle, and I really liked the flavor of that bottle, and I was able to get that yeast and reuse it, and here it is now.
I like this beer.
Yeah, so it has a very unique Brett character that I think is super fruity.
It is fruity, which is a little tart as well. It's Brett, which is interesting because the fruitiness is almost like some lacto going on, but it's just Brett, you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really
good bread.
interesting.
Yeah,
a lot of fruit esters in it.
Yeah,
it's very dynamic.
Why do you think it's fruity like that?
I think just the bread strain is
Just
just
a
super
strain.
farmhousey, and
It's not like a temperature thing that you fermented at?
this
or?
was fermented at 20 C.
Okay.
Sorry, I use Celsius.
That's like
and-
100 degrees?
and
Yeah.
liters.
100,000 degrees, I think.
100,000
It's been-
It's
it's
a
been-
lot. It's a volcano.
It's been on boil on the
We're
stove
just
for 2 years.
here on that.
It's an Israeli desert.
It's really
whatever
hot.
ambient temperatures.
Yeah.
I have a sour beer here that I just let go through an Israeli summer.
You did.
So you guys should try that one out.
What does an Israeli summer feel like?
Pretty much
Like
what,
this.
like what you
Like
guys
this?
have
Like it
outside.
feels here.
Like,
Yes.
like all the time.
So here
Oh.
today, for the
Yikes.
folks listening, it's 105 degrees out today in Concord. So it's
I think
a
right
warm,
now.
It's a warm day.
Still.
Yeah.
It
so-
doesn't let up. It's just like
Yeah, it sticks around. Same in Israel, like it just all night? 'Cause-
yeah, it's just really
Okay.
hot.
We'll cool down a little tonight. We'll get down
little
to
bit.
80 or whatever.
No, like
Right.
there's no air movement and it just like sits.
Wow.
Even by the coast, or
If you get right up to the coast, I mean the whole country is a coast. But,
right, it's not very wide.
But
Yeah.
it's not an ocean; it's a sea,
It's
so
a
you
sea,
don't
so you
get
don't
the
get-
same
Oh,
airflow.
yeah,
Good
different
point.
moderation. Yeah.
I read an article recently about how the heat actually does affect your mood, and it creates like more moody people and more violent.
I believe
Oh,
that.
of course.
I believe that.
Yeah.
That's, I
Really?
mean, that
Yeah,
is
totally.
100%. When you,
I mean, look at Florida. We make fun of Florida all the time, and that's why.
This is your brain
No,
on
just
100
go-
degrees.
yeah,
Right.
Let's go to the nearest urban center, and it's hot day. There's a
Whoa,
lot more things
whoa,
going on.
urban?
Not pointing
What?
any
Whoa!
I'm not going to point any fingers at that
happened?
old town.
Wow.
Come on!
But when it
this
gets
is a
hot,
family program.
the guns go off.
Lady, what was
Wow!
what were you going to say? Your experience too is
That's yeah. Every summer, that's when people get hot. They don't like to sit inside, and then they look for trouble.
yeah.
They get
The
agitated.
tempers get
They
hot.
get agitated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Agitated,
even
yeah.
hearing you guys describe it, it's unrelenting. It doesn't let up.
yeah.
Yeah.
That alone, I feel like a coating on me.
I get nicer in the heat because I've got nothing else to do. There's no like.
You want to be nice?
Because you're
feel
butt
like-
naked, you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, things are what they are. I'm just not going to run around, so I'll just be nice to you.
I do
That's what
think
happens.
that is Israel's craft beer number one problem, though, is because you have all these bottles and you need to store them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And you can't just put them in like a cold room.
So
'cause
what
there
are you?
no such
How
thing.
are you fermenting and then storing
So
things
they'll-
yourself?
Well, I ferment in a fermentation chamber.
Okay.
But for the most part, people have conical fermenters. If you're a craft brewery, if you're a home brewer,
Carboys or what?
carboys in the
Or
fridge,
buckets in the fridge,
Bucket
okay.
in the fridge. But a lot of the newer home brewers will just leave them out in like in a storage room.
Oh,
They
yeah.
get way up there.
Whoa.
So when you go to these club meet, like Heather, you mentioned club Harmony. I'm sorry. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Forgive me. When you like homebrew clubs, you said collaborate and stuff and order together. When you go to these club meetings, like, are you tasting a lot of bad homebrew because it's not being fermented cold?
I think that's the number one problem.
It's pretty even. There's also a lot of great homebrew, but I would say in the commercial beer,
Well, the stores will stock them
There's a problem.
on warm shelves.
Okay.
That's like not the brewer's fault, but there are some breweries that will just leave pallets of bottles
right
in really, really hot rooms.
or even most bottle shops only have a tiny refrigerator.
Or they don't have
So
any.
this
they
isn't
don't.
all that different from the U.S. I mean, we have a lot of great ones now, but also there's tons you go into where it's warm shelves too.
Well,
I mean, I guess it's not all 110 degrees outside, but
Well, the import lagers are pasteurized.
Yeah.
Are the domestic pasteurized as well?
No.
They're not?
No, I haven't found a domestic that's pasteurized or fined or filtered.
Oh, wow.
really?
Yeah. Most of it is just cold crashing. And,
well, let's try this summertime sour.
Oh, yeah. That's
Is that the raspberry?
It's worth a shot.
Are there non-kosher breweries?
Harmony looks
in Israel?
worried about it. She's like, is that the
does that
raspberry?
work?
No, I like the raspberry.
Okay.
Looking up for her own interest in it.
Yeah.
I am the biggest critic of the beers.
Good.
Yeah, this one did not travel.
Got to have one of those.
Lady looks like he needs a critic.
I do. I could get ahead of myself.
I thought he was his own worst critic. I thought that's the kind of thing. It's very-
Until Harmony came along.
oh, shit.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You want a dump bucket? Here's one.
Is there a kosher commercial brewery
You dump
in Israel?
bucket in my mouth.
All the commercial breweries I think are kosher.
Oh, really?
How does that?
How do they get kosher yeast or something like that?
All yeast is kosher.
So that's right. White Labs actually put out a press release about that. What isn't kosher that's a beer ingredient?
Wine with sour beers, it's a problem now because a lot of sour beers are aged in wine barrels. So because wine is sacramental in Israel, people who keep kosher can't necessarily have a sour that is blended with wine or it's aged in wine barrels.
But your standard ingredients, your hops, your malt, your water, like none of this is a problem.
No.
But wouldn't gelatin be a problem?
Yeah, gelatin would be a problem, except we'd have to get into some rabbinical discussions about that.
Oh, I'm ready to do that. If you are.
That's
why.
Is it common for homebrewers?
I have my Torah to Holy Bible conversion chart. I'm ready to go.
I use gelatin as a home brewer.
Oh, okay.
The gelatin we got was kosher, so that's not a problem. But I talked to a rabbi who deals in kashrut, which is the act of making things kosher. Oh. He said gelatin in any practice is kosher because the entire purpose is for it to not be in the beer.
Oh, I see. It drops out.
Right. So there's no flavor, drops out. That's the entire purpose of it. So therefore...
So you can use non-kosher in kosher as long as it doesn't translate
The
through.
intent is not to stay.
Exactly.
That was according to that.
That one guy.
Yeah, and that's why I said we should get
He's
into a
since
discussion.
been executed in Israel.
Now I live in Chechnya. I'm heading up the new NHL in Las Vegas. I love Vegas. Everything kosher in Vegas. Chechnya steaks.
Chechnya.
So when you use the barrel, is it a problem that sometimes you'll get alcohol from the barrel? That's certainly.
I think the wine barrels, if there's if it's freshly dumped and you get some wine still in there, that can become an issue.
So I did a show recently on our local NPR affiliate here, the KQED in San Francisco. And we had a caller call in, and he was concerned about kosher beer. And his concern was not beer as it exists now, per se, but as it's growing and people are using other ingredients in beer.
Absolutely.
And his concern was, when are we going to regulate? Which, of course, I was like, I hate the word regulate. But I did see his point. As you start to add in other ingredients is where it becomes a problem, right? Not just the wine barrels, but
it's the oysters,
foods,
it's
right? Okay,
it's the bacon.
The bacon beer.
Yeah. Also, when we were listening to your last guest, and they said they put the kiwis through the sausage grinder.
Oh, the same equipment. Yeah.
The equipment is the
that
big,
could be a
big
problem.
Right.
And that's why people are freaking out. I get calls from people I don't know around the country, around the world.
Really?
Asking me if I know if this certain beer is kosher.
Interesting.
And they're like, oh, make a blog. I'm like, I got other things going on right now.
Wait. You don't have a blog?
Who
the fuck
this
is
interview
this guy,
is over.
dude?
Scott, what happened here? Oh, wait, you're not the... Sorry.
I've already booked him. See, he's been booked. He was on the show before.
Yeah. I didn't have a blog back then either. So,
all right, as a self-proclaimed idiot,
this is a weird beer.
What happens if you drink a non-kosher beer?
You explode.
What happens?
I think you disappear.
Spiritually, you disappear.
Yeah. You just poof.
Yeah, you become a Mormon.
You cease to
It's a weird thing.
Because Scott likes to tell me that there's no hell. And then I'm like, well, then what happens? Like, what's the problem?
I just said you go straight to the hell you don't believe in.
That sounds like hell.
So, but seriously, what's the deal?
You want to get into this?
Can we do it quickly, or is it not a quick...
I don't think I'm qualified to answer. Maybe Harmony knows a little bit more than me.
That's a myth. That Jews don't believe in hell is a myth. We believe that everybody goes through a cleansing period.
Okay.
And that
is... wheatgrass and shit?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So if I have some non-kosher foods, it's part of the cleansing. There's more time.
Yeah, you'll work it out there.
Okay. So it's
the
not
purgatory.
It's not like the world is over, your family disowns you, but it adds to the things that have to be cleansed from you. If you
you feel bad not doing your due diligence to make sure it was.
Was okay.
We try our best to know. I talk to brewers if I don't know. I send emails. I make phone calls.
Should write a blog.
Yeah.
Is it kosher central?
Well, there's a group on Facebook that I'm part of that they're really craft beer eccentric consumers.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll get a discussion over there, but nobody really wants to touch it because as it stands right now, all beer is kosher.
Okay.
And nobody really wants
Just
to start.
leave it alone. Yeah.
Nobody wants to
right.
regulate anything because with regulations comes
Right. What you don't know.
Which was my answer to this caller, too, where I really was respecting. I thought it was a very respectful question. I thought it made a lot of sense, but I just didn't want to dive into it because I thought, oh, man, what a can of worms, because people want to use different ingredients in beer. All right. Anyway, this beer,
Let's talk about this beer.
The Summertime Sour.
Yeah, summertime sour with raspberries. This is about 3 years old.
Okay.
Spent about a year out of any sort of climate control.
Sitting in what, bottles or
sitting in barrels?
In barrels, just as warm, and the temperature fluctuated.
Super hot.
So different.
Super hot.
There's a harsh sourness and kind of like a dusty thing at the end. It's very, very different. Very different.
And this one shipped over the seas also. So this crossed the world.
Wow.
I can taste it.
I think it's still
Did you
great.
keep them topped off?
I think it's still
Did
great
you top
beer.
them off?
Oh, yeah.
Did you keep them topped off, the barrels?
Throughout the year?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to do that. I kept on dumping more raspberries in.
Oh, sure.
That's how I topped up.
I think I think it's still a great beer. I think JP's right that it has like harsher corners. Like it's a more of a, you know what I mean? It's more angly as a beer.
Yeah.
It's sharper.
Yeah.
It's definitely sharper.
That's an interesting thing to note. Like it doesn't mean that the beer isn't going to still taste okay.
Yeah, it's got other acids.
But subtleties might go away. And
I think raspberries also have a sharper kind of sour
That's true, yeah.
Note than other fruits.
Yeah.
That kind of rounded out. I know we were in Brussels and we had like the Lou Pep 2011 with raspberries.
Mhm.
That was like the most acidic thing. That I can't call it harsh because, it was an amazing beer.
Sure. Plus, I'll kick you out.
But we had our glass and we tried it, and then we took the bottle and we started pouring everybody in the public room at Cantillon just a little bit to try it.
Yeah.
But that was an amazing beer. Super, super, super sour.
Really?
Yeah. And the raspberries do that. And I think here a lot of that sharpness might be the fruit and the heat kind of playing together. But I've heard brewers, even here in California, that they don't temperature control their barrel rooms, and they fluctuate.
Not always, but the best ones,
Some do,
yeah.
some don't.
They like it that they don't fluctuate a lot.
Right.
Like Rare Barrel, for instance, they have a really moderated climate.
Right.
Part of why they chose their location.
Right. I remember hearing that on the show.
Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, I wouldn't mind talking a little more with you.
I wouldn't mind it.
I'd be okay.
You brought a bunch of beer, too.
I brought
right?
a bunch of beer.
So
I
we've
wouldn't
got-
kill myself.
We got more to try. We can take callers. Plus, don't forget, we're going to give away our tickets to the California Craft Beer Summit. So those of you who are listening live, I think we're going to take a bit of an extended break to put some food in our face real quick. And then when we come back, we'll talk more with Levi and Harmony about Israeli beer and drink some more Israeli beer.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, I think we'll do all that. Except that the computer just froze, and now we're just going to hang out together for a minute.
I like that.
I mean, we could just eat right now on the air.
Yeah, we'll just... all right, so hang
That's
in
the
there.
other show.
It's the session. Thanks to Highwater Brewing Company for being with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes. For those of you on podcasts, you won't even notice the difference. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters.
On the Brewing Network.
If you haven't heard, there's a completely new brand of brewing equipment. Kettles, burners, and accessories. Trustworthy everyday gear that helps you forge and shape outstanding beer the way you want. It's called Anvil Brewing Equipment.
Hi, I'm John Palmer. You may remember me from such self-help books as How to Brew, Brewing Classic Styles, Water, and the Brew Strong podcast. I am very pleased to announce the debut of Anvil Brewing Equipment from Blickman Engineering. I have been working closely with them these past few years to develop products that combine the best of materials, features, and price point. Each of these products has been developed, tested, and reviewed to meet these ideals and bears the Palmer Brewing Solutions stamp of approval on the packaging. Anvil Brewing Equipment, inspired by Palmer, built by Blickman, and made for you.
Check out AnvilBrewing.com. Anvil. Durable. Reliable. Dependable. When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for every beer style. I want a Cicerone.
The Cicerone Certification Program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a Certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious. Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at Cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and the freshest ingredients, backed by the best customer service in the business. Do you like to mash using efficient fly sparging, but would like an easy way to heat your strike and sparge water? Enter the new Brewer's Edge electric mash water heater, a plug-in, anywhere, precisely controlled heater for strike and sparge water. Ditch the fumes and second burner and make mashing easy. Go to williamsbrewing.com today and browse their vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy the Williams way.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zainashev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
Segmented, demented, fermented. It's the session.
All right, welcome back to the show, and thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks to Steve Altimari from Highwater Brewing Company and Barri Altimari for hanging out with us, talking beer. And, of course, now we have Levi Fried in the room with us. We're talking homebrew in Israel, and he's given us some good beer so far. I wanted to remind you that we had our we're doing a giveaway, and might as well do it right now. 888-401-BEER is the phone number. We'll take caller number 5. We've got 2 tickets to give away to the California Beer Summit Beer Festival, which is on September 10th. Is that what it was?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, September 10th. Yeah, September 10th. You okay there? You can go over to cacraftbeersummit.com and get 25% off early bird ticket prices. That offer ends June 30th. Or you can call right now, 888-401-BEER, and win yourself some tickets. You have to be either in California or available to be in California to go on September 10th and go hang out. So we're doing that right now as we wrap things up. Also want to talk to you about our good friends over at Drake's Brewing Company. Love Drake's Brewing Company. I was just down at the Drake's dealership the other day, Tasty.
It's a great spot.
Isn't it cool? Great beer garden. Yeah. Drake's is expanding all over the place, and you can find good beer from them everywhere. One of our favorite Bay Area breweries. I pretty much, every time I go buy beer at the store, I'm being serious right now, I pick up a 6-pack of Drake's. Either 1500 or IPA.
Right.
And some of the other stuff that shows up, I'll grab almost anything from Drake's.
We tried, I think a couple shows ago, we tried that Kickback IPA.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty good, man.
Which is
the session IPA.
It's a charity thing, right?
Yeah, it goes to the regional parks for like trail restoration and stuff like that.
Nice. And was it a nice session IPA?
I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was very refreshing.
Yeah, a lot of great qualities for sure.
Beautiful.
We loved it. And they got brand new packaging too. You'll look for that in the stores. It's a little bit different now.
Okay.
Right.
Go check out our friends at Drake's. Good people. All right. So 888-401-BEER if you want to win tickets to the California Craft Beer Summit. And in the meantime, we're going to try some more beer from Levi here, some more Israeli homebrew. And how long have you been homebrewing total?
For about 8 years.
8 years, okay.
Yeah.
It shows because you look like it, but also because the beer's
I've adapted the culture.
The beer's really good. Yeah. So what are we about to try now?
This is a blueberry and pomegranate Brett saison.
Nice. Okay.
Not so tart, just more funky.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah.
A lot of funk.
Warm fermentations?
No. This is not warm fermentation. No.
Saisons, though.
Funky beer, sour beer.
I'll tell you what. I didn't bring any of my fresh beers over from Israel, so. They wouldn't have made the trip.
They wouldn't make it.
Well, and you've been traveling here a long time. It's not just like a 2-week trip, right? So
now we're here for good.
We moved back.
Oh, you did?
Oh. Yeah.
Why am I don't know if we're speaking the same language, because I thought you just told me before the show that you're like flying home tomorrow or something.
No, Ariel.
Oh, Ariel's going back.
Okay.
Ariel is
You're just going camping for a couple days and then going back home to
Southern California.
I see.
Yeah.
You're now here permanently.
We're here permanently.
He actually decided he was moving back. He didn't tell me that in the summer that he was here visiting.
Okay.
The last time I was here.
When did you learn? Like when the tickets showed up?
No.
Yesterday?
When his mother asked me if I'm enrolling my kids in school here.
You're like, you're like, why would I do that?
Yeah.
Wow,
I don't even have kids. Where'd these come from?
How was that night?
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, that's kind
fine.
of a dick move, though, right? Like, not to say anything to you? I mean...
yeah, I guess. I'm sort of the type of person who can live anywhere.
I see.
So...
you just went with the flow?
Yeah.
Come on, though. You said at one point, like, when were you going to tell me we're moving?
It was something like that.
Was it? I don't even remember.
Was it in Yiddish, though?
Right.
Yeah.
It was in Hebrew. It was, got very...
a lot of yelling.
A lot of yelling.
A lot of phlegm, the whole thing.
She was seeing red at the time.
Right. In Chechnya, we don't move. We get shot if we move too fast.
Like, we don't argue, we sing to each other. It's very pleasant to argue in Chechnya.
In Chechnya.
Ariel from Long Beach is on line 1. He has a question.
You know.
All right, let's see if we can...
When am I moving back?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ariel, when are you moving? Ariel, you're moving back tomorrow.
That's true. I was just wondering what everyone's wondering, and when is the brewery going to open?
What brewery?
Right.
Are you gonna...
We moved back to open a brewery in Long Beach. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not open a brewery out there?
We tried.
We tried.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I was talking to Moscow over the break, and I think this is a perfect subject to bring up now because the market does not dictate the trend in Israel as far as craft beer is concerned.
Okay.
They're just not big beer drinkers. And it's growing, but it's just not a market as of right now.
You need people going out for 4 or 5 pints a night.
Exactly. The average, Ariel, tell them what's the average?
Yeah, no, I was saying I can attest to that. I worked at a small craft brewery in Israel for 3.5 years, and the average is 28 pints a year per person.
Per year. I did that last week. By the way, why is it me or does Ariel sound like the Yiddish Sam Calagione?
Yeah.
So we took the gefilte fish and I put it into a big vat.
We aged it in 500-year-old casks.
Ricky Lake loved it. She thought it was amazing. And then I modeled underwear for her.
We then buried it in the bomb shelter for 17 weeks.
And then I stood on it and I turned around in a counterclockwise position for 2 years.
Shmuel.
You do.
Calagione.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know. You just have the Calagione voice.
That's a thing. It's a thing now.
Is it a thing? It is now.
Yeah. You're going to call people out.
Did you guys meet in the U.S. or in
We
Israel?
met in Israel.
You did.
Ariel was working for a brewery called Mifshalat Ta'am that did a lot of they had their own brand called Hadubim, which means beers. Mifshalat Ta'am means the People's Brewery.
Okay.
And they also did a lot of contract brewing for a lot of aspiring brands.
Nice.
He was working there. They made some really hoppy forward beers in a land that didn't have any hops.
Okay.
And whenever
Wait,
I need
can I say how we met? Wait, the way we met was I was working at a beer festival, and Levi and his brother were there, and I was pouring the beer, and we had a hoppy wheat, and so they came by the booth. They had a pour, and they went over to the rest of the booths, and then they kept coming back and back and back, and then
I see.
It's like you with Pale 31. You found what you like.
Oh, and you just keep going back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Makes sense to me.
And so he was working there, and then anytime that I had a lot of beer to brew, because we had a 5-barrel system there.
Okay.
So anytime we had a lot of beer to brew, I needed assistance.
Or to bottle.
Or to bottle. So Harmony would jump in, and Ariel would jump in, and we'd knock it out as a team. And that brewery actually just went out of business. So Ariel was looking for other brewery positions. I said, how about California? Something came up. My friend had a warehouse space in Long Beach, and I walked in there by chance, and I was like, oh, man, if I could move a brewery in here. And he's like, sure.
So this is what you're doing now?
Yeah. So
when is it going to open?
That's a good question. We're about 4 months through our application processes with the TTB and the ABC.
Okay.
We've broken ground. We've purchased pretty much all of our equipment.
Wow.
It's actually coming July 1st.
Okay.
So we're still
Exciting.
building, and our stuff is coming
next week.
Beardy knows how that goes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And Ariel's going to come back and work with you?
Yeah,
or?
Ariel, you coming back?
Hell yeah. No, I'm in the process right now of packing beers from here. I have a rare barrel, I have some barrel works beers, and all these beers that I have to bring back to Israel, or my friends there would kill me, because it's literally a desert of craft beer over there.
Okay. So you're busy right now.
Yeah.
So you can't answer a question.
I hope he comes back.
Okay.
That's a hope. Do you have a ticket?
A ticket to to come back? Yeah. No, I'm coming back. I just wanted to say one thing. I wanted to say thank you to Tasty at the Firestone Invitational. I don't remember the end of the Invitational. It's kind of thanks to you.
I know.
And Justin, I met you last week in San Diego, and you were very nice. Thanks for the stickers.
No, it was cool to see you there, and reminded me that you were coming, so that was nice.
Yeah, that's
I was like,
nice.
I should be there for that.
He does a great job. That guy is a brand
he is.
pusher. He really makes it to every festival. He's around for limited bottle releases. In fact, he was out by Noble. Best small brewery in the world.
Yeah, they just won that at the Craft Brewers Conference. Yeah,
they did a beer
World
with
Beer
Cellar Maker, and
Okay.
Ariel stood online so that I could bring it up here.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so Cellar Maker didn't even bring that beer.
So what you're saying is Ariel really doesn't have a life.
Well, he's working very hard pushing the brand.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
So
What
you
is the brand?
shared that beer with the Cellar Maker people when you were there?
Oh, I didn't share it with them. I brought it for you guys.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
What's the brewery called?
Long Beach Beer Lab.
Okay.
LBBL. You can find us at lbbeer.com.
Nice.
Simple.
That's a scoop. Justin, you got a scoop.
I finally got a scoop. I mean, it's an all right scoop.
He didn't even know he was getting a scoop.
I know. I was like,
I already reported it on the Sour Hour.
damn it. Scott already
Thank
did it.
you.
See?
Is that a compliment?
Thank you for the scoop. I appreciate it.
I told you I was going to give you a scoop.
You did. That's right. All right. And so you're in the permitting process, but the equipment's showing up, so you'll be open in 4 years. Is what we're thinking.
Exactly. I'm hoping to make beer before 2017.
That'd be cool.
We're working on getting beer into barrels. You know how that takes a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're working on that, trying to piggyback on some contracting.
Not a lot of breweries in Long Beach, too, right?
Oh, Beechwood and the Blendery, and they're only 4-minute drive from us.
Never heard of it.
So Long Beach is gonna. There's some other breweries opening up. Our friends at Timeless Pines, they're in Lakewood, but they might as well be in Long Beach.
Okay.
More breweries, they're coming.
Good.
Long Beach just changed their laws in March 2015 to negate the CUP process.
Oh, wow.
In building breweries.
What is that?
The conditional use permit.
Okay.
So you could open up in pretty much any zone a brewery without having to pay a CUP. We had no problems with the public notices or anything like that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so we kind of fast-tracked. We're the first brewery to open up since those laws have been passed. So far, so good.
Okay.
We've not have a problem whatsoever. I'm just hoping. I brought my culture from Israel for the sour beers, and so I'm hoping that'll kind of take hold here.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's got some of that holy dust that you were talking about.
Oh.
Beer. Yeah,
I like holy dust.
You know the Greek Orthodox, they pay for that.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's why we're so broke.
Right? Yeah.
You guys are charging too much for your
Because
dust.
we pay for stupid shit?
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
You buy dust.
Right. For too much markup, dude. I need wholesale price.
I know a desert. You can get some.
Yeah. We like to put out a lemon on it.
All right, Ariel, any other questions or comments from...
Oh, well, I really called because I wanted to win those 2 tickets. I didn't really want to talk to Levi. I see him
Are
all the
you going to
time,
be here
but,
in September?
I will.
I'll give them to you right now. Ariel wins our tickets to the California
That's 2 tickets, right?
Thank you.
It's 2 tickets to the festival portion of the California Craft Beer Summit on September 10th.
Wow.
The rest of you can go get tickets at cacraftbeersummit.com.
Rest of you were car number 3.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Every one of you.
All right, well, you better fly your ass back here and go, man.
Oh, he will.
Definitely.
All right. I want you selling it on the Israeli black market.
I can see that.
No.
Is there an Israeli black market?
Oh, yeah.
It's called a tan market.
Yeah, 100%.
Everything. All right, brother. Well, congratulations. You just won.
All right, thank you very much.
We'll see you in September. Thank you for the call, and it was good to see you in San Diego.
Wait, he's your brother?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, there's some conflict of interest.
Yes.
Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, I defected Catholicism.
I want to defect.
Yeah, we don't talk very much anymore, but yeah.
God damn it, you love the shit out of him.
Chechnya, it's so easy.
No.
We don't do it. We have no expectations.
Zero expectations.
It's really part of my heart and soul. Zero expectations. I don't disappoint.
Your heart.
My heart.
It's your heart and soul.
You got that.
Yes. I'm
Yeah,
trying.
you've been working.
Scott's been training me. Every Wednesday we meet, and he goes over and over again.
Hello.
Because that's all that's
How are
left.
you?
Because usually it's like I go, well, Jews don't really believe in hell, and you go, really? Is there? What's up with that? And I go, well, there's a lot more to it. Do you really want to get into this? And you go, can you just sum it up? And then we just get into the thing because that's all that's left.
Just go back to the will you?
Just give him the short of it.
Yeah. All right. Can I do an Adam and Eve ad? Is anyone going to go to hell for that if I do that right
Can
now?
Levy do the Adam and Eve ad?
You want to do that?
No,
you might not be able to.
He's like, no,
Is that right?
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's actually a mitzvah.
That's your Jewish accent?
Yeah. No, sex is
It's a
it's a
mitzvah.
commandment.
Yeah.
It's a commandment.
Oh.
You're supposed to do it.
You
Yeah.
gotta do it.
You gotta
But
do it.
Really?
Were
You have to do it.
Are
have
there
to.
are there electronics involved in the Torah
Right.
version?
Any
of the...
way you want.
There's no rules.
That's the way you
That's
need
the way you need it.
So those are kosher.
Have you seen the drumhead?
I don't know why I defected. I should go back.
You should go back. Well, be fluid. Be religion fluid.
Are you saying there's no guilty sex in
Except if you
I
lie with
didn't-
other
I
men.
didn't
No,
say
that's
that.
not what he said.
I did not say that. And you cannot quote me on that.
If
Because
two
the
people who
Catholics-
lie have dangled, it's not good.
in Chechnya? There's no time for sex.
There's no time to look sometimes for tangle. You just go in and out and you're done.
That's right.
Down
Sometimes you just go in.
Yeah, down for coffee.
Sometimes you go in, you pass out.
Yeah, the government
Hope
take
you
you.
don't get assassinated.
For being rebel.
What happened?
I don't know.
No,
Welcome to Chechnya.
Yeah. Comrade. Comrade?
I think so.
Sure. Fuck it.
in Chechnya, we don't have time for comrades. By the time we make friends, Go on.
We too busy fucking.
I thought.
All right. Let's see. Go to AdamandEve.com right now, and for a limited time only, you'll get 50% off just about. It's just a fucking ridiculous thing. When you select that item, though, and you'll get your 50% off, then you'll get the 3 free DVDs plus a free exclusive gift. And to top it all off, they're going to throw in this special gift. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Are you
Could you
ready?
say it?
Levy?
Could you talk to our Chechnyan listeners?
I'm ready.
Scott's ready, I could tell.
I was born ready.
The clit bumper. Not illegal in Israel.
No.
Or any other country, as far as I know.
Don't they remove those from the women? Or is that another
in
country?
certain countries,
Okay.
not in Israel.
I didn't know. I'm trying
the
to learn.
clit bumper, it's the ideal pressure ring for couples.
Pressure?
It's a pressure ring.
Only for couples.
ring.
Pleasure.
It
Right.
applies pressure.
I got enough fucking pressure in the bedroom. I don't need a fucking ring.
I was like, what is a
How much more
pressure
pressure do couples need?
What does that do? What do I know? Listen, in Chechnya, I told you we don't. There's no
If
toys.
if you don't have enough guilt, the pressure ring.
There's no pleasure. It's just
fine.
pleasure.
Pressure ring comes when you're not giving it up.
Right. Instantly switch from pressure to pleasure.
Look, he'll love the way this ring lets him stay harder longer. See, that sounds like a pressure ring.
You'll love it. Oh, good. My head's about to explode.
That's all good.
Yeah.
It increases the strength of the orgasm. She'll love the way the pleasure rubs thrill her sweet spots. It's a sentence. Unique bumper, in quotation, stimulates her clitoris. Soft and stretchy for a comfortable fit. That doesn't sound like pressure.
No.
It's comfortable.
Made of premium silicone. Waterproof, which is important. And compatible with all water-based lubes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lubes.
The other, on the last show, Doc just right there.
Did he find that out?
Half fucking drunk. He goes, "Is it washable?" First of all, it's waterproof.
Yeah.
Second of all,
Yeah.
it's silicone.
But it's not washable.
But yeah,
No.
what are you gonna do, man?
I was surprised at that one.
How dirty are you gonna get?
In Chechnya, we don't wash
There's no water
There's
to
no
wash.
water to wash.
Nothing's washable.
Nothing's washable. You just reuse it until you die. Until you get infected and die. AdamandEve.com. Use coupon code BNARMY at checkout. That's BNARMY at AdamandEve.com.
Man, they've gotten like ridiculously specific with these reads. Like over the years, like, it's funny to see the transformation. Like it's gone from hey, shop here, use coupon code, whatever, and then it got into these genres of DVDs, which was a little specific. And now they're like, you need to break down how her anatomy is being stimulated.
What is
Exactly.
next?
And they wrote to me. They did write to me. They're like, "Do you have any other properties that we could advertise on, like Facebook and Instagram?" And I was like, "Listen, no. It's like, enough is enough already." Okay, I'm happy for the support. I think it's a great value to our listeners.
I do too.
But I'm not about to fucking post it all over the interwebs.
I think this is what used to be too sensual for the radio. Then they listened to one of these episodes,
and they're like, not sensual.
Not
these
sensual
assholes
enough,
will say it.
Yeah.
In 2 years, it'll be the prostate pounder. Totally annihilate his pleasure gland.
Tenderize them from the inside out.
Also works as a jackhammer for those backyard projects.
When the garden is done, get your prostate punched.
Perfect for the weekend warrior.
Oh my God. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, we should do their production for them. We're good.
We are good.
You know what's weird about doing the Adam and Eve thing at the end is I always have to search for the close of our show.
Yeah.
And I search asshole. Like that's the word that because the song's called JP Asshole.
Right.
And so we do this whole fucking Adam and Eve thing, and then I have to type asshole into my computer. And but I found it. So
there you go.
It autofills real quick.
Yeah, it does. My
yours?
We'll talk.
Okay.
You guys will figure it out. Did I do all the things? I did. All right. Levi, thanks for coming in and hanging out with us. Thanks for the beer. We might drink more of it. Moscow, it's good to have you back.
Absolutely, man. Good to be here.
Oh, Twitter
We
game.
could even finish the Twitter game if you wanted.
All right, we can try that.
I'm against it.
Yeah. Go ahead. What was our Twitter game? Oh, if Tasty had a dream, a bad dream, what would it be about?
Or a nightmare. I mean, you can go a condensed version of that if you wanted to.
The dream is shorter.
A dream, a bad dream.
A bad Yeah. Oh, did
yeah.
you know what I forgot? That our feedback earlier today was brought to you by our good friend John over at Beer Law Center. You can go to beerlawcenter.com and check it out. John takes care of our trademark. He can take care of yours. Plus, he can help you with the TTB. Mostly in North Carolina, but also probably around the country. Give him a call, beerlawcenter.com. He can help you out. All right. So, how did we do?
Tasty had a nightmare. I think we did pretty good. I think we did all right. So Jim Gray says Tasty his nightmare would be running out of cookies, homebrew, and beautiful women.
Oh, that's a bad... Right, Tasty? That's
all at the same time?
That's a bad dream.
Pretty easy to please, really.
Yeah.
And I haven't been out of beer like in my whole life, I think.
Okay, right.
So, like...
Yeah.
So
it could never happen.
I got beer.
Okay.
You wake up. Yeah, right.
That would be a nightmare. Fucking fuck you, brain.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah, good one, asshole.
Got me there, brain.
John McConnell says he's got to push another floozy down the stairs.
Floozy? What?
When did he push the first one? Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, good.
How do you get these? You're a sicko. You're like, guys, don't you get it? I mean, she was pregnant.
I'm in therapy.
Okay, got it.
I'm just very disturbed. Chris P. says becoming host of the session, thereby eliminating his weekly Monday nap during the session.
Oh, yeah. If you actually that's a nightmare.
I do have to stay awake for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Conrad B. says life. Just life.
Is it a nightmare about life?
Yeah.
Life.
He's like,
yeah,
I'll take it off because that's not very good. Justin Grau says hazy, cloudy beer, which is a nightmare for any good beer craft beer fan, right?
Tasty doesn't mind it as much, or does he?
He doesn't.
I'm working on embracing it.
It's an acquired taste.
It's a 12-step.
Yeah.
Which one are you drinking right now?
I'm drinking the beer from
the Prairie.
No,
no.
I didn't think it was going to be hazy. It's from
Russian River.
Oh no, Redwood Curtain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm drinking the Prairie, which is hazy and really good. I've been drinking it all night.
No, this beer's great.
Yeah, okay. Go on, carry on.
Justin81 says being banned from Russian River.
Oh. That's a nightmare.
That is cold sweats there.
Yeah, for sure, right? Don't worry.
That's the coolest thing I've ever done in homebrewing.
After that point, people start turning it on. Jesse P. says Tasty's nightmare was that he would be too tall for the low hug.
That'd be bad.
I have to get on my knees.
But he wouldn't be the master anymore.
I wouldn't be in my dream. I wouldn't be that smart.
Right.
I'd be in trouble.
Alex says all girls started covering up side boob.
Oh,
this is nightmare fuel,
wow.
dude.
Yeah,
it's a nightmare for everybody, though.
For all of us. Yeah.
Dr. Beer says IPAs go out of style, and the only thing he can find is a shandy.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Terrifying.
That would be terrifying.
Brandon Magnus says nobody recognizes him, so he has to wait in line for a beer.
Okay, that's Tasty's worst nightmare.
Right.
If you got to go back to waiting in line for beer.
That's a very annoying part of my day. Yeah, that's like a real nightmare. I mean, it's a. Yeah.
I mean, you get a lot less stops a night if you had to start waiting in line again.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
A couple more. Pete the Dink says the positive test result on the nightstand.
Oh, just leave it there. Does anybody do that? Is that a thing?
They just disappear but leave the test?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Prairie Bros Brewing says the soundboard quit and he would have to actually say real words but still fake a laugh.
Okay, yeah.
And they'll get to meet me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And last but not least, Sean Carey says another session with Justin at the helm.
Is that a nightmare, Tasty?
No, it's
okay. It could be. Depends on the.
I don't want to be flattering here, and I don't want to be, say.
I don't want to be flattering.
But JP, we have a good time with JP. But
we do all right.
We miss you. Yeah,
Thank you.
We do all right.
Well, I like the most accurate ones, which are banned from Russian River.
Yeah.
That's a real nightmare for Tasty.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one,
waiting in line.
Waiting in line.
Right.
You had to wait in line no one recognized you had to wait in line for it. So those are my top two.
I would give you that for sure.
All right, we can go around and vote for that, right?
Yeah.
Let's raise our hand if it's banned from Russian River is Tasty's worst nightmare. We got one vote for that.
That's just too horrible. That's just too much. That's something I don't want to have.
Waiting in line for beer. Everybody
waiting in line for beer.
Okay.
In Chechnya, everything is waiting in line.
Yeah, there's no beer. It's just line.
Yeah. You get to end, you wait in line again.
In Chechnya, there's so little to do. Sometimes we just wait in line. Okay.
I'd say for fun, but there's no fun.
There's no fun.
No fun allowed.
One time someone smiled in Chechnya. Execute.
Yeah.
There's no smiling.
No smiling.
We have partied that day. Lots of straight line faces.
Straight line faces. We are having time of our life. Not getting shot.
Right now I'm laughing.
As happy as I get.
Right.
Who's our winner that did the waiting in line?
I don't know.
Well, should have
waiting in line, Brandon Magnus.
All right, Brandon.
Hey,
you're our Twitter game winner. Thanks for playing. And good one. Good one.
Good one, buddy.
You know
Yeah.
you're tasty. All right, I think we're done, right?
We are done.
All right, thanks again to Steve Altimari and Barri Altimari from Highwater Brewing Company. They're doing great things over there, and appreciate them coming in. Thanks to Levi for coming in here, and Harmony, too, talking to us about the Israeli beer scene. I appreciate it. Are you drinking our Slow Clap Vienna Lager right there?
Yeah, it's great.
You like it?
I really do.
I think we did a good job.
I think we did a good job.
It's one of the only beer camp beers, the retail beer camp beers, that got served in like several places. And usually when a retailer like us goes in and does beer camp, they just serve it at Sierra and then the retailer, right?
Yeah.
Ours has been in like 10 different places, plus showcase at the Firestone
Exactly. That's where I first had it.
Invitational,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Do you like it too, Tasty?
I loved it. It was great.
I
did
think-
all right.
I think we killed it.
I think we did really, really good.
I'm proud of it, and there's a rumor that that they might make it like next year's season.
Spring season.
It's in the running.
I like that.
It'd be nice.
It's in the running.
You can't find Vienna lagers.
Exactly, especially not one that
Only in Israel.
Only
Only
in Israel. They're
or
big in
Mexico.
Israel.
Gold Star is a
I know.
domestic Vienna
Oh, is
lager.
that right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm homesick.
How is it? Is it good?
This is better.
Okay. Nice.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
it's good if you get it straight from the fermenter,
I
like
see.
from the brewery. But like I said, the heat just kills it.
Kills everything.
It's
Yeah.
also really light. This is
This is a lot more malt.
maltier.
A lot bigger. Yeah.
It's great.
It's got
Okay.
that Vienna that Tasty loves.
From Vienna.
Great malt.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for doing what you do or
For
something.
not dying.
And not dying.
Yeah.
And we're actually off again next week. My favorite schedule. When we're sort of
Already
back,
hard at work.
and then
I think
gotta
it's a
ease back into
it's
this
a
thing.
holiday, July 4th, I think.
it is. It's 4th of July.
Yeah.
And,
That's next week.
sometimes I feel like I really did plan my life well. When I think about these things.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I'm like, man,
What does that even mean?
really don't do anything.
You just come in and
Yeah.
talk about Chechnya.
Yeah.
And then
This is
take off the
coming
next week.
Let's do a shitty accent for 4 hours.
We
and
are
then go home.
Chechnyan experts.
Yeah. In Chechnya, we don't like work. There's no work.
There's one job in Chechnya.
We all share it.
We share.
Sometimes we go stare at garden, but garden is just one weed in the middle of town square.
In Chechnya, we work for 8 minutes every year. One job, share.
On the off chance that we have a listener in Chechnya that we
Yes.
haven't completely offended tonight,
Yes,
could
yeah.
you please call in maybe on the next show and just prove what a real accent sounds like?
You're so funny. There's no phones in Chechnya.
Yeah. Go. What are they going to do? Go to Uzbekistan and borrow a fucking phone, Bev?
A payphone.
Yeah,
Get
thank
real,
you,
dude.
Thank you for calling in Morse code to the next show to tell us about your accent.
Caller from Chechnya, you're on the line.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you. See, my accent was better. All right, get us out of here, JP. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. And thanks to Steve and Barri from Highwater Brewing for bringing so many great beers. Be sure to find them over at highwaterbrewing.com. Also, thank you to Levi and Harmony, our pals from Israel, to come in and talk to us about home brewing and sour beers in that part of the hot, hot world. Merge your love of Disneyland with your lack of engaging podcast and go to earsuppodcast.com as JP, Terrence, Bevo, and Taryn talk about all things Disney. Go check out Moscow's Hop Cartoons over at hoplifestore.com. Get on Twitter for some good beer insight and homebrew info, and follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew, Mike McDowell at Tasty McD, JP at Major Jip, and Warren, I guess, if you want to, at Another Beardy. Today's show was produced by Bevo, and your host has been Justin Crossley. Be sure to find the Brewing Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and winning the race. JP